This show is sponsored by BetterHelp Therapy Online. Being human doesn't come with a user manual, and sometimes we don't have the tools we need to navigate life's stressors. Luckily, working with a therapist can help you gather those tools. Visit betterhelp.com/allies and navigate life with a little more ease.
Hello. Welcome to the Easy Allies podcast. I'm Daniel Bloodworth, coming to you from Los Angeles, California. This week, I'm joined by Michael Huber.
Yo, Brad giving Chris Redfield vibes with this jacket.
Bradley Ellis.
You're out of your depth, Ethan.
Michael Damiani.
Hello.
Out of your depth.
And in the control room, we have Isla Hink,
Hello.
Don Casanova, and Gabby Montoot.
They wave. For listeners, they're waving beautifully out of focus in the background.
Imagine the sound of waves.
Imagine the
way of
sound of
water.
waves.
Friends, we're here to talk about the biggest headlines in video games this week, or whatever I just decided to grab. We've got some weird ones. Palmer Luckey has built a VR death trap. Mick Gordon is fighting back against id and Bethesda. We've got some new Nintendo financial numbers, and there are more indie games to talk about. But before we get started, we need to go on a treasure hunt.
Oh.
Listeners,
Oh.
we've spent the last few months training our custom character, Dawn Romantica.
Dude, we're leaving the Shire.
Now she needs cash to fund her adventures.
Nice.
So this week we're going on a treasure hunt looking for artifacts she can sell to buy some gear for her main quest.
Whoa.
We're going to a couple different locations today, but you need to choose exactly where to search. First up, we've got a mountain cave. We've got 3 places you can check. You can either go to a crypt, a deep tunnel with a curious glow, or a mine.
The curious glow, dude.
And they call it
A mine. That's
I'm-
also tempting.
The crypt, I'm worried, is bait. That is like,
Skeletons?
yo, they want us
That's
to go
human
in
bait.
there. They want us to go in this crypt, and they're going to ambush us because they think we're going to go into that crypt.
Yeah, we can stay away from that.
The mysterious glow gave me, my spider sense was tingling. It felt threatening. Right when you said a cave with a mysterious glow, I felt danger.
Okay. It feels like danger.
That's all my info.
Okay.
That's all I got.
What was the other one?
A mine.
Ooh. Mines are pretty dangerous in games.
Yeah.
I think all of these are going to be
They're
dangerous.
dangerous.
But we're good at sword fighting and shape shifting.
Yeah. Dude, let's go with the glow.
the glow.
I want to go see that glow.
Let's go see
I'm
the
I'm
glow.
curious about that
Alright,
glow.
alright.
Okay, following the glow ever deeper, Dawn is
It's
led to
dangerous.
a rather crusty and ordinary-looking treasure chest.
Uh-oh, it's a mimic.
However, her shape-shifting training allows her to identify that it's actually a mimic.
Hell yeah, dude.
She attacks before it can surprise her, and inside is the half-digested armor of the previous adventurer, worth 200 gold.
Hey.
Sick.
200 gold. 200.
Nice.
Take it.
That felt correct.
Next, we're going to a ghost town.
We're not done.
Yeah.
Should we check out a gangster's vault, a shifty merchant who will barter for your previous treasure, or an old library?
Those are all great.
Duke's
Vault probably has
Archives.
So many traps.
Duke's
Archives?
Archives, bro.
Duke's Archives. Is
All
there good
3 of
loot in
those
there?
were Huber bait, and I wasn't sure
I
which
don't know
one
if
he
there's
would
good
go
loot
for.
in there.
I'm worried the vault has already been cleaned out.
That's what I'm worried
Yeah,
about.
that is
too.
my fear.
It's got more
Sure,
traps in it.
sure.
We're
And
gonna
it's
lock it
trapped.
and we're done. Let's do the library.
Library, Duke's Archives.
Library? Yeah, Duke's
All right,
Archives.
library.
Sure.
Top 10
Library.
libraries, dude. Duke's Archives.
Walking through the halls of the old library,
Oh, God.
it turns out that it isn't quite what she was expecting. Even with her navigation skills, every hallway starts to feel like the one before. Eventually, she accidentally kicks an object that slides across the floor. It's a plasma pistol that was
What?
dropped during an intense battle with the Flood. worth 100 gold.
Oh, it's that library. Very funny, blood. Very clever,
Very cute
Bloodworth.
Bloodworth.
The joke didn't land.
He felt good that we picked that.
Bloodworth is thrilled.
Very good,
Wait, are these
Blood.
submitted or did you come up with
The
them?
patrons submitted the treasures
Okay.
in most cases. Actually, the mimic was one I had before, but then I wrote up the backstory.
So we got a Halo Covenant plasma pistol. All right.
100 gold. So we're up to 300 gold here.
Live chat would have gone with the crypt,
Oh,
FYI.
everyone would go with the crypt. Crypt is bait.
Yeah.
All right, on her way to the next town, Dawn hears a distant rumble. She departs from the main path and scrambles down a rocky hillside to find a hidden waterfall.
Hell yes.
Inside there are 3 treasures, but Dawn only has enough carrying capacity to take one.
All right.
Should she take a Jiggy, an old non-functioning mech suit, or a Chaos Emerald?
Well,
What's a jiggy?
it's from
Banjo-Kazooie. It's a
Oh,
little-
that makes
So-
me
I don't know
feel
what we could do with a
uncomfortable.
jiggy.
And I don't know what we
open
could
a
do
door?
with just one Chaos Emerald. You know, you
How
need
are
the
we
whole
gonna-
set.
How are we going to transport?
With the,
Also,
the power, like the mech suit. Are you
also
thinking like a
our
power armor
carrying
set?
weight is insane. If a mech suit and a Chaos Emerald weigh the same, we can only take one of them.
Yeah.
I don't know. Indiana Jones always told me to pick like the humble option.
Totally.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
true. I feel like we can maybe repair the mech.
Yeah.
But we don't need the mech. I
Yeah,
feel like
true.
we're not
we,
gonna fight in that.
We
thing.
may need it later.
Maybe we could sell the Chaos
I
Emerald.
think we're selling all.
Selling
this
all
stuff.
of this stuff.
Okay, okay.
It's all for
Pretty
cash.
sure we're selling all this. So
Oh.
my fear,
There's less.
Okay.
There's less Chaos Emeralds than there are Jiggies.
My
There's
fear
more
is the
Jiggies.
Chaos Emerald is a fake.
Oh.
I don't think it's real.
Oh.
My God,
I think
I
it's
didn't
a
even
fake.
think
I
about
think it's a
that,
fake.
dude.
I think it's a
Holy
fake.
crap.
It's not real.
Okay, what are we gonna do then?
The mech suit's busted.
yeah.
Uh,
Then get it at a
but
discount.
what if it like gets reactivated and like does something to us?
We need to
befriend
befriend it.
The Jiggy's
What?
Jiggy can also be fake too.
Yeah, I'd say Chaos Emerald.
What do you say, Isla?
I was leaning mech armor, but I don't know how to transport it. But jiggy is a weird word that I don't like. So
Get jiggy
Getting
with it.
jiggy with it.
chat would say mech suit.
Okay.
I don't know.
So
Chaos
let's
Emerald?
not do that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, do the Chaos Emerald.
Chaos Emerald.
Chaos Emerald.
All right.
Chaos Emerald.
Yep.
against.
And that's worth 1,000 gold.
Yes.
Hey!
It's legit.
It wasn't fake.
So that's
What color was it?
1,300.
Who bought
that
it
you got.
from us? Knuckles?
I don't know. But we got 1,300 gold out of it.
That's the end of his prepared imagination.
The one where you would have had a fake was the merchant.
Ah, fake
That's where you would have got
Shady.
a counterfeit.
Sweet, sweet, sweet.
I love it. I love it. Good job, Blood.
Can you tell
and
us what was in the
patrons.
crypt?
The crypt was an ancient sword with a Draugur's hand still attached,
Awesome.
but it wasn't worth that much.
Okay.
So we chose
Pretty good. Yeah.
So we came out on top.
Sick.
All right. Thanks to everyone who participated today. Become a patron for $5 or more to submit to Dawn's Adventures and watch for the Love and Respect post, which usually goes up either Monday or Tuesday each week. Dawn's going to look for a cozy inn, and now we must answer for the mistakes we made in last week's episode. Isla, begin corrections music, please.
Boop.
A few people wanted to correct the order of attack when we described the Evolutus trailer. We made it sound like the guy she stabbed in the face survived and got right back up, but there were 2 attackers in that clip.
Yeah.
Game
The
looks
guy
sick.
who was getting up off the floor was not the one she stabbed, but the one she had knocked the teeth out of earlier.
Do we have a date on that game?
I don't remember.
I'll check.
Thank you,
Check,
Isla.
yeah.
That's day 1, baby. Day 1.
The next one isn't really a correction, but it was interesting enough. More of an explanation, really. I just wrote these down verbatim. Regarding the eye tracking and foveated rendering, when you quickly move your eyes to look at something else called a saccade? I don't know how to say that
Keep
word.
up.
Your brain
Yeah.
actually ignores the input from your eyes for a short while, then extrapolates backwards
Holy jeez.
from the new position to fill in what it thinks you must have seen during the eye movement. So there's a small window for the eye tracking and rendering to move the spot where it renders at full resolution. This is also what causes the stopped clock illusion, which occurs if you flick your eyes over to watch just as the second hand moves and makes it appear as if it's stuck in position for more than a second. Another person added on, in reply, hands-on previews noted that even high-res games like Horizon maintain clear resolution even for distant objects no matter how quickly the player looked around or changes focus from near to far.
That's a good thing to hear about. That's
Yeah,
good.
it's nice.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, foveated rendering sounds undetectable.
That sounds
from the
promising.
previews.
That's wild.
Do the new big ones like the $1,000 VRs have this tech already?
I don't know.
I don't know
check.
if any of the newer ones do.
Cool.
For sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Quest Pro probably would.
Yeah. Cool.
They admitted that this one...
2023 for Evolutus.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
They admitted this one was a little bit pedantic, but there weren't a whole lot this week, so I threw it in there. Damiani said that Blade isn't happening in Phase 4 anymore, but it was never planned as a Phase 4 release. It was originally scheduled for November 2023, and Phase 4 only covers 2021 and 2022.
That's right. It was a Phase 5 movie. Should have corrected you.
Delayed. Damn it, Huber, you missed your chance.
I know.
It seems like PSVR is the first one available, but Quest Pro will likely have it too. Yeah, live chat is saying that Quest Pro will have foveated as
Cutting
well.
edge.
Very
So
cool.
it's like bleeding
Yeah.
edge. Yeah.
That's cool. That sounds really, really good.
If you have a correction, leave it in the YouTube comments on either the public version or the Patreon version of this episode. Start with the word correction and leave a timestamp so I know what you are correcting. End corrections music.
Boop.
All right, last week we talked about indie games. This week we got more indie games. Nintendo dropped one of their Indie World showcases this week. Showed a lot of things that we've seen before in various forms. So I'm going to mostly focus on some things that just stuck out to me as highlights, and I thought were cool that we wanted to talk about. The first one of those, which I love, Huber was kind of immediately out on, is called Aka.
Aka, picking up trash. Picking up trash.
Trash Panda.
Yeah, so you play as a red panda who is a retired warrior, basically like
It's a cool premise.
looking for things to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a top down, not quite isometric kind of view, but a little bit of that vibe going on.
It's got a very cozy aesthetic. It looks very soothing.
Yeah.
Very soothing game.
Good looking character.
Yeah.
I just feel like this has been the year of seeing not
Yep.
just like
Yep.
farming sims, but just like sim games in general, where you're crafting, gathering, and
yeah.
building up your home, and
Yeah.
it's like it kind of just feels played out. I feel
Totally.
bad, but
Yeah, I feel bad too,
Yeah.
Damiani, because I'm not hard out on this specific game. I'm more hard out on the genre
Yep.
right now, just because there's
Yeah.
so much of it. You know, they're usually pretty like in-depth games. You know, anytime all these crafting is involved, you know, you really gotta settle into it. It's not just like pick up and play. So I'm not in the headspace to commit to something like this.
yeah.
Yeah. The giant capybara, though.
Very
crawl up and
nice.
take a nap.
Very
That's
cool.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pandering for the win. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Smart.
Yeah.
The next one is probably my favorite of the show, Pepper Grinder,
Yes, this looked
Yeah.
good.
which I've never heard of before, but apparently has been in the works for at least 5 years.
My grandma's nickname was Pepper.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So her name is Pepper. I think the drill that she uses is Grinder. A lot of people have compared this to the Going Through the Sands in Ori. It seems to have like a similar feel and momentum. So you drill through the earth. Sometimes you bust open like these kind of like hidden passages. But you also use the drill and like a lot of other devices. So there's like a Gatling gun that you put the drill into. There's like a mech that you power with the drill.
Yeah.
There's some like different devices that you come across the way to like open up different passages and stuff. It's a game that looks like it feels good. So I hope it feels
Yes.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
The quality of it speaks to me like it's SteamWorld Dig levels of quality.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like that is the energy Pepper Grinder is giving off.
And the traversal challenges give me like shades of like a little bit like in the direction of like Rayman games a little bit, and like even a little bit like it's some like Donkey Kong Country vibes
Sure.
with like going in the circle with like those spinning like gear things that
Yeah.
you gotta like dodge. It's like in the circular pattern. Definitely get that. The trailer also said like grind, so I'm like kind of curious.
Is it roguelite? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what I
the
thought.
grind
initially.
part.
Well, I think grind is the name of the drill.
So the
Yeah.
drill,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
because I thought maybe it also
it.
was like double meaning there that there's gonna be, maybe you power up your drill, maybe you're
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I'm not
farming.
sure
You
on
do
the
power up your
structure of it.
drill. That's what they said.
Yeah.
So I'm
yeah, I'm not
curious,
100%
like-
sure on the structure,
I'm
on like,
curious-
whether it's like Metroidvania type.
Yeah, so my
type
question
at
is
all,
like,
or-
are you gonna start like kind of like basic? And then you're gonna get
Right.
some of the abilities we see in the trailer. You're gonna get like down the road, so
Yeah.
it's gonna
Yeah.
keep like
I
evolving
kind
the
of thought it'd be
gameplay.
stage based, but maybe not.
Yeah, that's a good question too, Brad.
Action-packed drill bit dig venture.
Okay, answers a lot.
Don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shipwrecked and robbed of her treasure by nefarious gnarlings.
Gnarlings.
Pepper, a seafaring soul with a passion for prospecting, must spin up her trusty sidearm to reclaim what the mischievous minions stole. Armed with grinder, Pepper burrows through terrain and water, controls machines, and pulverizes all enemies blocking the way to recover her missing fortune. With interest.
With interest, yeah.
Debt collector.
Yeah. So,
Sweet.
Yeah, it looks good.
Sign me
Looks
up.
like it has good momentum going through that game.
Yeah.
collect jewels and other riches during your adventure and cash them in its shops to power up Pepper. Open up new paths on the world map.
Okay.
And
World
snag
map,
world
collectible
map.
stickers for your sticker book.
All right. Sticker book.
That's for Switch.
That's very Nintendo.
Yeah.
It's coming to PC too in 2023. Next one up is Oni, which Huber not feeling.
I wasn't feeling this one either. This one, there's something about this world. I don't know. It's just something about this game. It feels so mean to just judge it immediately, but I just don't. It doesn't seem like.
Does it seem like it's kind of empty or something?
Yeah, it's kind of empty. I'm not sold on the combat. You know.
And also, like, Don and I immediately were just like, this looks too smooth for this. And then later in the trailer, they showed different gameplay, and it's very framey. And it's like, there it is.
Yeah, had a moment of framiness.
It doesn't
for sure.
like. Again, it's a 30-second trailer. What the hell do I
Yeah.
know? But like, I'm already nervous about how everything in this game connects together.
Yeah. Okay. Good point, because I think most of the shots in the trailer are from like the same little forest area.
Yeah.
So you're not like really seeing a lot
Right.
of variety in that. So
There's some different colors and there's some different enemies.
yeah,
but
is that all they're going to be doing for the trick? But also, yeah, like the combat, like one and a good point, Ale. Like once I got into like more raw gameplay footage, yeah, a little more shaky performance and didn't look as smooth
Right.
as
want.
the beginning of the trailer where they're just like walking around and
Yeah,
kind of
and
exploring.
for listeners to understand what this is, it's kind of like a cel-shaded looking
Yeah.
open world. You play as this little
Yeah, I like the premise of
yeah,
this game.
like really little
Looks-
guy.
looks-
like he's trying to become the
Yeah.
greatest demon, but he's just this like little round.
looks like a mix
green
between
goblin.
like something you see like in Dragon Quest or like
Ni
first
no
Ni no
Kuni familiar,
Kuni. Ni no Kuni
dude.
familiar
Yeah.
is literally it's like a hybrid,
Yeah.
which is level 5. It looks like a level 5 created game. I'm like, is level 5 not involved with this? Okay, yeah.
I do kind of like that his backpack is like way bigger.
yeah,
than
I do like that.
It does also, chat pointed this out too, but it was something I thought as well, that it bothers me that the title has Oni in it twice.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. We were saying that earlier.
Which
too.
I guess, like, because there is that old game called Oni with the girl on the cover and
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah, it's
but like,
Bungie.
whatever.
the subtitle is what they needed to
I mean, it
differentiate
could it literally just be called Oni Path to the Mightiest or whatever.
Sure.
Cut off the Oni at the end, I think, and it still works.
Yeah.
But double Oni.
I was just getting some biomutant energy from it. I don't know where it came from. You know, sounds mean, but it's just that's just
Careful, a lot of people love that game.
Yeah, you know, you just
They're coming for you.
look at something for 20 seconds, and that's the
Yeah.
vibe I got.
Yeah, that's coming March 9th. The next one I wanted to highlight is Dordogne.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is a very, very cool looking game. It seems because they had like a little like dev diary bit where the one of the developers was talking about it, and it seems like they actually painted like these backgrounds and stuff in watercolor, and then they
So cool.
put the animated characters and stuff over top, and then like manipulated the paintings to be like 3D couches and stuff like that. And so it has a really cool look to it.
Yeah, it looks great.
Very impressionistic. But you play
Mimi.
you play as this girl Mimi, who is
These are so short.
yeah. The actual trailers are really short compared to what was in the showcase itself.
This one was funny too because the narrator, the English narrator in the direct said it the way you did, but then the dev was like Dodoni, Dodona. Like,
Yeah.
There's like 4 different ways to say it. Like
Man.
Don and I were like, how do you say it?
But yeah, so you're a woman who's coming back to your grandmother's house
Heavy.
and remembering like exploring the
Childhood,
French
yeah.
countryside while you were a child, and so it kind of goes back and forth between the time periods, which I'm not sure how that mechanic exactly is going to work. I don't know if like you'll examine something and it will like, trigger you to go back
something,
in
yeah.
time. But very cool. They show you like with a camera. They show you with like an audio recorder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gives me like
A bit
some
like-
season vibes.
A little bit like that.
I would love it if you take like recordings and pictures in the past, and then your character kind of has thoughts about it in the past, but then when you get to the future timeline, maybe her thoughts on that thing have changed or evolved in some way. It's an interesting premise.
What's that other indie game where you see an item in the present and it like transports you back to the past? And it's also kind of like got a
There are a few that do that.
The eyes one, right?
It's-
Close your eyes.
some-
Before your eyes.
Before your eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a-
The ballet one kind of does that.
yeah. It seems like like that's been happening maybe a little
Bound.
bit. Now you say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that could be a cool concept as well. Just like
Totally.
being able to piece it together, like get the full story.
Yeah.
I was telling Blood. I can remember the title, but I had to look it up only yesterday because the Studio
the
Ghibli,
Ghibli movie,
film,
yeah.
which is about like a girl who is like in the present, going back to like her family's old house, and like they jump between those two time periods and like interacting with like the objects to remember things. It's like
Is that a newer one or old?
that's old. It's
I
like
don't-
80s.
Dude, I don't know if I've seen that
Late
one.
80s or early 90s. Might have been. It was a TV only movie. Yeah, in Japan. But it's
Shit.
been released. It's like on HBO Max. You can watch it on HBO Max.
Dude,
Part of the
sick.
Ghibli collection. Yeah. in
Cool,
there, yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, and then you also like it looks like some of the items and stuff that you find, you like can sort of create your own little scrapbooking with those and with the photographs that you take.
Look at this photograph.
I know where you're going with that for a second. I was like, oh, okay.
That's coming out in the spring, and I think that's a good
That's a
good
good
time
time.
for that. Yeah.
That's a spring game. Spring summer game. Perfect vibes.
Great vibes.
Yeah.
Until you realize what happened and start crying.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, even in the trailer, they were like,
Killed
Yeah.
my grandma.
she dies.
It was me all along.
Yeah.
Once Upon a Jester. This is a wacky one. So you're improvising your own theater shows.
Some Brad.
This is like a Jackbox game. Like one of the modes of Jack.
Not quite. Not quite
funny.
there, but yeah.
No, I meant like the vibe. It's like, this is one of the modes in Jackbox 10. or whatever.
So you're so right. You're so right.
But it's way more elaborate.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
mo-
yeah.
better quality.
But the energy of like filling in this play with maybe some ridiculous
yeah.
plot.
Yeah, it does seem like it definitely leans into the sillier side.
Yeah.
During the sort of like Dev Diary segment, they're talking about how a lot of times like they wanted to lean into the improv vibes by just like using the first takes on VO and that kind of thing.
That's funny.
Yeah, I think that's pretty neat. But it's interesting because it's like it escalates because like at first you're like, okay, you've got to put on a show and pick costumes and choose lines and all of that, and then you're like, okay, well now you're competing to be the best show
Yeah.
to get into the royal whatever, and the royal theatrical
Theater company, yeah.
competition. But then it turns out the reason you want to get into this royal theatrical show is you're pulling off a heist.
Yep.
Okay.
Trying to steal a diamond.
There
Trying to
you
steal
go.
this treasure.
Always down.
So just like, yeah, just a lot of different things.
It's always
mixed
about a
together.
heist.
Also,
It
this
is
one
now,
shadow
yeah, it is
dropped.
Yeah, that
too.
one was out. It's out now.
Yeah, I
Came
want to
out.
do it on a easy update or something. Or whatever.
Another shadow drop. Been out on other things, but Huber, Rogue Legacy
Yes, one of
About
my
time.
goaties. One of the best possible games you can play this year. I promise you. If you are waiting because like you haven't played the first one, just dive in.
Yeah, you don't need to.
You don't need to
it's
play
not
the
a game you
first.
need to play the
No.
first.
You know,
course.
just
This one's the first one, but better.
yeah, just there's so much value to this game. It's $25. We were talking about it, and really one of the best ways you can spend your time and money on a video game this year, hands down, hands down.
Just
My
said that about God of War like the other day.
That too. This is my, but it's the same. It's the same pantheon of like this is my maximum recommendation. I cannot recommend anything more than this game. It is at the top, with some other games, of course, but it is one of those games. So good.
They had some other things in a montage which we didn't get to show you, Huber. But there's WrestleQuest that's coming out in May.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
WrestleQuest. I've had my eye on that one. It was so good.
Oh, the Wrestle RPG thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks kind of good.
Yeah.
Wobble Dogs, which is
Bizarre.
Yeah, also been out on PC, but I'm like, I don't know.
Gave me like Spore vibes almost.
World of Horror, which is like black and white, like kind of text heavy.
That's
horror
been
game.
out on other stuff for a long time too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Curse of the Sea Rats, which I think is also coming on PC, and then Inscription's coming to
Switch.
Switch as well.
Oh, that game's so good too. Inscription. I love Inscription.
But then we wrapped it up with an update on Sports Story,
Yeah.
which I think got a good reaction out of everybody.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah. It is the same studio as Golf Story.
Yeah, this is a sequel
Yeah.
to Golf Story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like you're the same character.
And
Yeah.
you played that, so what
Yeah.
is that like?
Really like Golf Story. It's just like just the it reminds me of Mario Golf Game Boy Advance. Was that the one?
Right.
With just like
Maybe
this
Game Boy Color.
Game Boy
Yeah.
Color, yeah, just that open world, like simple to play, but like still has enough leeway in there to be like, oh, okay, you know, I got to get better at this or get better at that, but it like still is really basic to learn. And this just looks like way more expanded. Golf Story was, you know, more focused on the golf course and your little adventure, you know, in the area around there. But this is like a full
This is like a grand adventure.
Yeah.
This is like a huge RPG because
Yeah.
you know, like they talk about, you know, having other sports in there, like they've got tennis, soccer, fishing, BMX, mini golf, which looks fun,
Yeah, mini
volleyball, cricket, but then they're like going out and doing quests, going
Yeah.
into dungeons.
Yeah.
There's a pirate ship on a train track.
Yeah, stealth
Yeah.
section.
Yeah, that Metal Gear Stealth
Yeah.
section
Yeah.
is crazy.
I love a good 8-bit, 16-bit mall.
Yeah.
Love a
Hanging
good
out on
mall.
this game,
Yeah.
I didn't see if there was an arcade. There's a video shop I think we saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a video shop.
But
for
maybe they're hiding that arcade
Yeah.
a little bit tucked in further.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we got a release month.
Window. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's coming out December.
That's still a good time. People traveling for the holidays.
Yeah, it's a
their
good time for a Switch
Switches,
game.
looking for a recommendation, you know, pop that in, play it on the go, play
Totally.
it.
Because
you
that's
know,
the
play it
thing.
at
It's
home.
like this is the kind of like Switch game that I love to have on the holidays because you don't have to worry about like trying to play a game in 3D on the plane or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like whatever environment I'm in, I could put some time into this.
Yeah.
So
I'm curious. I'm gonna assume you don't really need to have played the first one to enjoy this one.
Probably not.
yeah, I
I
would
never
think not,
finished
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I didn't finish it, but
So- Like I'm assuming. I don't want to make that recommendation. Like, hey, you could just jump into this, but I don't know for sure.
yeah, I'm assuming as well. But I think probably you can probably
'Cause-
just hop in.
I see
Yeah.
maybe like a loose connection at the outset of like, oh, you're the
They
golf.
reference,
What about other sports? Like, something maybe.
Chat echoes blood and maybe and mine that pepper grinder. They're very excited for that. That one looks really really fun.
Yeah, that one I'm psyched on.
Totally.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Yep. Big same.
Next up, probably the most shocking, weirdest story of the week. Palmer Luckey, in a blog post on his personal site.
Want to play a game?
If you're not familiar with him, then he was formerly the leader of Oculus, one of the founding members. He revealed that he has crafted a VR headset that will kill the wearer if you die in the game. Based on devices in Sword Art Online, I guess he like posted this on like the fictional
weave.
date that Sword Art Online is supposed to start.
Oh my god.
This thing called a nerve gear or whatever.
Stop it, Palmer.
It has 3 explosive charges
So unhinged.
aimed directly at the user's forebrain, which would obliterate the head of the person if they went off.
Like, why would you even make this?
Yeah,
why would you even do
Why
this?
would you do?
Are you allowed to have this?
You know me. You know I love theatrics and shit like this. So I'm like, you die in the game, you die in real life. Like,
It's just like, this is what you're spending your time doing, is making this.
Well, and also like his company, he went from Oculus to like making government like underwater drone and like weapon contracts. Like
Yeah,
that's what he
defense
does
contract
now.
stuff,
So
yeah.
it's like kind of in keeping with that. It's so intense. It's
Yeah.
like gross to think about it.
Yeah.
I've got all kinds of quotes from this.
now
thing.
that
It's-
this is out there, like I'm gonna be paranoid to put on any VR headset. I'm like, yo, is this thing?
Yeah. Don't
Yo,
buy
is this
your-
modded?
Yeah, make sure you when you buy your PSVR 2 from Amazon, there's a brackets in the title saying for sale.
For sales in North America.
Yeah, for sales will explode your forebrain.
Yeah. Well, and you know, and reading through all this, like one of the things that I was just remembering when I had those early demos of the Oculus Rift before it was out, with Palmer being in a virtual VR space and trading stuff back and forth or whatever the heck we were
Oh
doing.
my god, I remember this
Yeah,
story.
yeah. Like I played with this stuff and with the controllers like firsthand, and the dude was like the happiest man ever. You know, just like loving to see this stuff actually like working and being a reality and showing it to people, and just to imagine this same person with this giddiness talking about his death machine.
Yeah, what is he, the Joker? Like, calm down, dude. He's like a fucking Batman villain.
The Riddler.
Yeah, Riddler.
Yeah.
It's absolutely
Survive the game,
absolutely-
Batman.
Yeah,
He wants
they're gonna
to-
put this thing on Commissioner Gordon's head, and Batman's gotta like solve it.
He's just fishing. He's trying to. He's hoping to getting a collaboration with Sword Art Online.
Dude.
Pre-order for the new game or whatever.
And the game's probably bad, too.
But that's what I mean. All of these quotes, he sounds practically giddy about this thing. The idea of tying your real life to your virtual avatar has always fascinated me. You instantly
I do
raise the
get that.
stakes
I do get
to
that.
the maximum level
I understand that.
and force people to fundamentally rethink
Yeah.
how they interact with the virtual world
Dude,
and the players
I
inside
understand it, but following through
Yeah,
with
this
it
fantasy,
is
yeah.
unhinged.
Yeah.
Yeah, that line separating there. To be fair, I mean, it could just be like, a thing. Like, it doesn't really work. It's like, it's a proof of concept.
It
but-
works.
No, this one worked.
He literally said, I haven't worked up the nerve to
yeah,
put
yeah.
it on.
No, here, I have this quote too.
Oh, God.
I have plans for an anti-tamper mechanism that, like the nerve gear, will make it impossible to remove or destroy the headset.
Gear.
Even so, there are a huge variety of failures that could occur and kill the user at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
That's the-
glitches,
that's the
hacks and
worry.
stuff. Yeah, like
This is why I
game
have
glitches,
not
yo,
worked
you're
up the
dead.
balls to actually use it myself.
Dude.
All right, so that's the question.
You spawn into a game and you're like
Here we go.
dead already.
This is strapped on you. Game on the hard. I asked this already, but asking again. Hardest difficulty game. Period. What are you playing?
Mario Party with 3
You
other
said,
people.
You said Mario Party.
We all wear one.
Oh my
God.
We're all wearing it. Yeah.
It's like upsetting to and like it's not even like smart in how it's triggered. It's not like literally tied to the game. It's just looking at the screen for a certain
Right.
kind of red flash.
Right.
And that, like anything could trigger that.
So scary.
Could you
But
do a whole?
this is also why I am convinced that, like an SAO, which I think is in Sword Art
Sword Art
Online,
Online.
the final triggering should really be tied to a high intelligence agent that can readily determine if conditions for termination are actually correct.
Conditions for
Terminators.
termination.
So
Handing you over
And
to
hyper
an
advanced AI.
Skynet.
Dude, what this also makes me think about is Running Man, dude. Like
Sure.
VR Running Man, in 30 years I wouldn't be surprised.
Dystopian science fiction, we have arrived.
Yeah.
I mean, we done been in dystopian science fiction for about 20 years, but like, yeah, god dang.
He needs a reality check. He needs to live a normal life for like a couple years and just fucking come back down to earth.
This is the person who needs to touch grass.
Dude, he needs
Yes.
to like lay on grass for 5 years.
Yeah.
He'll figure out some way for there to be haptics that makes his hand feel like he's touching grass.
And then if you touch the grass too hard, it'll pierce your skin and go through your hand. I mean, he's like a multi-billionaire.
Yeah.
Like
This is
people,
some
this is like
psychopath shit.
Is he
Yeah.
actually billions?
they paid him $2 billion for
Oh, geez.
Oculus.
Okay.
This is gonna lead to like this could become a reality. People are gonna do pay to win shit so they won't die. Like, you know, pay for like all this protection and
gosh.
stuff. You're good. But you have to play it this way, man.
Combine this with a VR backpack. Crazy.
What was that stupid vest from back in the day?
Oh.
Feeling the impact.
Oh,
Yeah, haptic
what
vest.
was it called? What was it called?
It had the dumbest name ever. It was,
Get there, Blood.
It was like in every Blockbuster or whatever.
I want to say Menacer, but that was a Genesis.
That was
like,
the Menacer was the like.
the Menacer was
I had
gone.
Menacer.
Oh man.
Oh man, it
It was
was for
hilarious.
rent. I remember
Yeah.
like the rental shops had them. But yeah, it basically was like a subwoofer that was on your chest, and somehow like every time it was like the bass from getting hit would then like pound your chest.
That sounds sick.
It was ridiculous. But yeah, this thing, at this point, it is just a piece of office art.
I better be behind
Thought-provoking
glass.
reminder
Yeah.
of unexplored avenues in game design.
Office art?
Yeah. It's just sitting around the. It better be so secured. Like
These people don't know how to be normal humans. Like, they just don't get it anymore. They're so lost. There's no hope.
You're so
Explosive
right.
charges in your office, just sitting around as art.
The Aura Interactor is a VR vest from the 90s.
It wasn't VR. It was just
trying
like
to-
hook it up to a
VR.
Genesis.
Oh.
Yeah, you would play it with
What
Mortal
year?
Kombat.
Okay.
Let's try early, like 92, 94, somewhere in there. Oh my gosh, that thing.
it'd be like if I was a billionaire. You know, I'm obsessed with zombies. And it'd be like, yo, I'm gonna make a haunted house.
Dude, I'm
But if
making
you
the-
get bit by a zombie, like you get infected with like a death virus or something, you know?
You'd
Just
be like,
what are you doing?
I'm making the T virus actually.
yeah.
Just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is if we actually do get those science stories, we're like, we've figured out how to.
Was that bath salts?
I mean, I think
Make
the
a
human
zombie
brain
rat.
just like isn't built to withstand that amount of wealth, and you just live in a different
Yeah.
reality
Yeah.
completely. I think it's the Aura Interactor. I think that's the vest.
Okay, I think there's a different one, but maybe
Okay.
that's one of them for sure.
Yeah, it looks
It's
like
one of these things that like came back a couple of times, for sure.
Okay.
But this one's 94, so you're on it. Yeah,
$100. What systems did it work for?
It says
SNES and Genesis.
yeah.
and Sega CD.
Wow, that's right in our
Yeah.
wheelhouse, dude. I never had that.
Well, corrections can if you find a different vibrating
Dang.
bass vest from the 90s, please let us know. I can't find anything else.
two games.
Two games, maybe.
My goodness. But yeah,
Stop it, Palmer.
don't
Yeah.
Yeah,
don't
stop
stay
it,
the
all
night
of
at
you.
Palmer
Stop, dude.
Lucky's house. I guess.
Just stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Palmer Luckey ever hands me a VR set at an event or something,
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
No,
dude.
no.
You put that on first.
yeah,
Yeah, don't go to a sleepover for
Yeah.
sure.
I'm good.
Quit buying Twitters and making killer headsets, billionaires. Just like feed people. What the fuck?
All right. Back to Nintendo. We got a mid-year financial report. This is like second quarter, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because fiscal. Well, yeah, because the halfway through the fiscal.
Yeah.
Bunch of
April
reports coming out now. Yeah.
So we got some updates on a bunch of numbers and some intriguing little tidbits.
Little titty bits.
Sales.
Mario Kart.
Of course.
Mario
Yeah,
Kart.
of course.
We'll skip
rain.
ahead. Mario Kart's over 48 million sold
rain.
on Switch now.
That's it, dude.
That's it.
That is an insane
Almost. Hey,
number.
It's on its way.
Chasing GTA.
Mario Kart 9 gonna
Chasing
be
that GTA,
yeah, it's
bro.
gonna be- Mario Kart 9 will be like chasing GTA and Skyrim, baby. Watch. Yeah. Launch title 2.
But
Switch 2. It's
yeah,
happening.
Switch is up to 114.33 million total sales.
Yep, a lot.
0.33 repeating, of course.
Which means the next to beat is PS4 which is right there, 116.6 million.
Yep. And then PS2.
Then is Game Boy Color at 118.69 million.
Yep.
Then the DS
DS.
at
What a powerhouse.
154 million.
Yeah,
Powerhouse.
it's got a while to go.
Powerhouse.
Absolute
Probably, I
powerhouse.
don't think the Switch will get there. I don't think Switch will get
DS and
150.
PS2 are like the and like
Yeah,
that's
PS2 is just above 155
PS2
million.
is the
like
reigning champ.
Switch doesn't have like
PS2.
a DVD player in it.
PS2.
When
Yeah.
DVD players are popular still. Like it needs a little bit more.
So many people bought PS2s for that DVD player.
Yep.
I know, man.
Tons of
Smart
people.
idea.
Totally. It's like PS1 had the CD player too.
Yeah, it's pretty smart.
PS3 with Blu-ray.
Yeah, but
There are
the,
smartphones for smartphones. Yeah. You're putting multiple functions in there, yeah.
the last 6 months were down, citing the supply issues and stuff. 6.68 million units, 19% fewer consoles than the 6 months compared to last year.
Yeah. Here we go.
So they reduced the forecast from 21 million to
Here we
19
go.
million.
Slowing down.
But they still expect to increase sales and profit for the year.
Of course.
Of course. They got
And the
holiday.
analysts
Pokemon.
point out that
Pokemon. Yep.
Nintendo always gives conservative estimates, so they could still come out ahead of what they say.
Yeah, it'll probably still be over 20 million for the fiscal year. Yeah.
Some individual game sales: Splatoon 3,
Dude.
7.9
Yeah,
million,
a lot.
Blood, why don't you
fastest Switch launch ever.
And how about you tell how many? Do you know how many of those were just from Japan only?
Oh, I don't have to break down on Splatoon.
I do.
What is it?
5 million of those sales were from Japan.
That's huge.
So Japan
insane.
loves
They do.
Carrying,
Oh, yeah.
carrying
They
that
love
series. Yeah.
sick.
Switch Sports, 6.15 million.
Yeah. Switch freaking sports, man. Everything sells on this system.
I know.
Everything, yeah, no matter what.
We talked about Mario Kart, but in the past 6 months alone, 3.07 million.
Cool.
It's just the game you could recommend to anybody.
Yeah.
Anyone. Get
Yeah.
this
All
one.
3
ages.
million.
Yeah,
If you're a game
anybody.
for all ages and all skill levels, and you're on Switch, get paid.
and still in the middle of another DLC pack.
Yep.
The
Yeah, we
booster
still got a
Still got
couple of those.
content.
Yeah.
Right.
Still
Booster pass.
perfect timing
Are
for
we
it.
caught up on that?
We are,
We
but
are,
like,
right?
we're
Yeah.
waiting for the next
Okay,
one.
I
yeah.
look to you guys to keep me
Yeah,
on.
we
that.
streamed. We streamed
streamed
the second wave.
So fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time fun.
It was during our event.
Yep.
We did.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if one came out after that.
Nah.
Kirby and the Forgotten Land
Yo.
is now the best-selling Kirby game ever.
Switch effect.
Clap for
Switch
that.
effect, yeah.
Clap for that.
2.61 million units.
Clapping for that.
2.6.
The previous best, the original Kirby's Dream Land.
Yeah.
on
Oh, on Game Boy?
Yeah.
I had that. This game was cool.
Good game.
Yeah.
So for all these
Neat.
years, it had been the best-selling, and now
Yeah.
It was the first
Finally.
Kirby game to make me want to play it. That's what it took.
That's true.
This
yeah.
one?
Yeah.
That's fun.
Because it's 3D now or something.
Well,
What
and,
high
like very
praise.
traditional. Yeah.
Smash never wanted to make you play Kirby.
Only in Smash, but
Okay.
not
Oh,
a
yeah.
Kirby game.
Okay.
along with that, Animal Crossing New Horizons, it was revealed, is Japan's all-time best-selling game.
Yeah.
Period.
Ever.
Yep.
Wow.
10.45 million, beating the previous record holder, which was Pokemon Red, Green, and Blue
Wow.
at 10.23 million.
In
10
Japan
million for the
only.
number one Japanese
Only in
selling
Japan.
game. Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
what I
Just
mean.
in
Yeah.
Japan sales figures,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
The worldwide, Animal Crossing New Horizons has sold 40.17 million.
Okay, so fourth.
Yeah. And then
Japan has a population of 125.7 million people in 2021, just for reference.
Great.
So it's like
Reference
less than
point,
10% of people are playing video games, I guess.
Great reference point.
and then Xenoblade 3, 1.72 million. Not too
That
shabby.
seems good for Xenoblade 3.
Dominic is worried about this.
But,
Yeah.
I mean, he said it's lower than 2.
Uh-oh.
It's like, yeah, 2 is still the best-selling one, and there was some concern about its longevity.
Oh, no.
Given, like, its monthly positioning compared to 2. I saw some, like, arguments that 2 kind of thrived a little bit more because it also got to ride the hype of Pyra/Mythra being in Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Right.
Which did drive a lot of sales, especially in Japan. It sold out again in Japan when they were introduced as the DLC pass characters. So I'm worried if 3 will have the legs of 2 because of the benefits afforded 2.
Right.
And yeah, I think I would not be surprised if this is the last like Xenoblade game and they have Microsoft move on to other projects.
Well,
beyond
they have
this.
that other franchise that they
have
haven't
other
quite
projects
shown off yet, but they were hiring for.
Yeah, it's definitely it's popular, and I would love them to keep working on Xenoblade, but I think it's never going to be bigger than what it is, and like 2 is probably like the pinnacle of its popularity.
Well, even in your review, you were talking about you feel like they've kind of run their course with the structure.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a whole different argument. Yeah, from like the perspective of their game design, but I think it's just like the nature of the game. It like there are other. It's been advertised open world. That's not really doing it. It's tried different like kind of like hooks. Mechs or. I mean, X had like playable like mechs and flying around and stuff, and that was a whole different. That was like the worst.
Yeah, I'm curious what X would be like if it were not stuck on the Wii U. There's no real way to judge that sales.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, I feel bad. I hope 3 would be like. I hope 3 would be more of a breakout.
Right.
Like that. I was hoping that would easily surpass 2 sales, or at least the trajectory looked like it was going to clear 2 sales, and it might still. There's not to say it won't, but I think it's a little bit lower than maybe some people expected it would be at this point. So
yeah,
that's a little bummer. But still a good game, still decent sales, and Monolith Soft. Hopefully they get that a project someday that jumps into that top 10 with them. I mean, they contribute on Zelda though. But
that's the thing. They've been also supporting these other Nintendo projects, which I think is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe just give them their own Zelda game sometime. Okay. Yeah. We'll see.
It's so interesting to me that Animal Crossing sold so well, and yet Nintendo was just like, we're done after this DLC. That's it.
That's their MO.
We're not milking this. I know it's totally Nintendo. It's very them, but it's just such a funny business model. It works, so whatever.
Yeah, I think it comes down to how they manage their teams. Where I think they don't want their people working on the same thing endlessly. They want them to move on to something fresh.
They don't view it as a games as a service.
Which fits their even their hardware philosophy for the last 20 years. Basically, they don't want to keep doing the same thing. They would like to try to make new things. So I think that's just why. I think with things like Mario Kart, even like Mario Party, like when it eventually gets updates, it's like they're so big you can't look away from them. You need to support this in some capacity. Like this is gargantuan. You're kind of crazy to not support this. Whereas Animal Crossing you'd think it'd be in that layer, and they did support it for some while, but I think there's always a cutoff. Mario Kart, it's a little bit of a weird case that after so long of no more support, they came back to it. But like Smash Brothers, they're walking away from easy money on that table. They could have done like a wave 3 if they wanted to.
Yeah. Same with Animal Crossing.
Yeah, like so much money.
Yeah,
Animal Crossing is 40 million, and Mario Kart is 48.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I understand why they're walking away when it's like that popular. But more likely just to make a new Animal Crossing at some point and just go with that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But dang man, devs was it Yoko Taro even said he wished Nier was done sooner, so one of the characters would have been eligible for Smash Brothers Ultimate, but they missed that cut. So it's
they had to settle for Soul Calibur.
Yeah,
sorry.
Overall, in that 6-month period, 15 million sellers on the Switch, including third-party games.
Nice.
And kind of in the end there, they announced a new subsidiary in collaboration with mobile developer DNA. Nintendo has 80% share of this new company called Nintendo Systems Company Ltd., focused on the development and operation of services to strengthen the digitalization of Nintendo's business. So that very well could be what we were just talking about.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, sure. I mean, kind of fits their what DNA was doing. I mean, their original partnership for mobile stuff,
right?
You know how that went. But this is a little bit different. So I mean, this seems like more their wheelhouse that they could help. But who knows? I don't know. Sometimes these things pan out and become something very interesting and unique. Sometimes it's just something in the background that we really never noticed, and it was just been there for forever. And oh yeah, that was a thing, and just. Not everything's a megaton when it comes to Nintendo new business formations, stuff like this.
Yeah, they just do a better job of highlighting things in the eShop. Who knows?
Yeah, I imagine it's something along that lines. I mean, it'd be nice.
Or maybe they tighten up that online
Supposedly, that's who knows? Nintendo.
Yeah, you keep hearing things like this time they've got a new structure that's going to be better.
Do something. Yeah, it's going to fix it. This is the one.
I think a lot of it though still comes down to the Switch wireless, because like even like when Brad, when I had you bring in your Switch to do that music capture for Splatoon, like even there it was like disconnecting, and like they were feet away from each other, you know. And it's when I play Splatoon with the wired connection, I don't have that many issues.
Yeah.
So it's really like something in the wireless antenna is not great.
3DS Smash, remember having that issue too. A lot of drops.
Yikes.
That was not very, I mean, that's older tech and older hardware, obviously.
Dude,
But yeah, they've
compromised. Yeah.
one
Talking
time,
about being an all-time low playing Smash on the 3DS wireless.
Yeah.
Good lord.
remember those dongles? Dongles you had to plug into a PC for
Oh
like
my
DS.
Oh yeah, when Nintendo had their own like little Wi-Fi thing.
Yep.
Yeah, I had
Old
that thing.
Nintendo Online. Always.
But
great.
then they always have these little investor Q&A things.
Did they ask about F-Zero again?
I don't know. I didn't see the whole Q&A,
Oh, someone buy new stock to ask?
Did someone, this time?
Blood, did you do it again?
but the
Palmer Luckey should have just done that instead.
Yeah.
right. But one thing that did come out of that is Miyamoto
just
talking
wa-
about backwards compatibility.
Oh, sorry. I
Was
was just thinking about Palmer Luckey being a major shareholder for Nintendo. He would just want like Joy-Cons
might
like blow
be.
your hands off or something.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Backwards compatibility, Blood.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
So this
There you
is
go.
interesting. So this is
me
a
more.
translation of Miyamoto's comments from VGC contributor Robert Sefazon. In the past, we provided a service known as the Virtual Console that allowed users to play older video games on new consoles with newer hardware. As long as the hardware remained unchanged, those games could continue to be played. However, the publishing rights to video games are complicated, and we have said that we would only add titles after securing the necessary rights. Of course, video games developed for dedicated consoles were created in different development environments for each console. As a result, when the hardware changed, the development environment could not necessarily be reused, and so the video games that had been released on older consoles could not be played on newer consoles without additional modifications. So he's talking about why Virtual Console isn't on Switch, basically.
That's enlightening.
Recently, however, the development environment has increasingly become more standardized, and we now have an environment that allows players to enjoy older video games on newer consoles more easily than ever before. However, Nintendo's strength is in creating new video game experiences, so when we release new hardware in the future, we would like to showcase unique video games that could not be created with pre-existing hardware. So
You can do both.
You can do both.
You can do both. But
You can have new
just-
IPs all the time, but you can also curate and help your older games live and survive to new generations
Just be
and to
prepared.
older people who want to go back.
But just be prepared, Huber, for having to pony up for that 4K version of Breath of the Wild
Yeah,
on
just-
Switch 2. You have to buy it like brand new. Your copy of Breath of the Wild will not work
That's
on
true.
Switch 2.
That's true.
Watch. They'll
Yeah.
make you have to buy a new version of it that runs on Switch 2 because, Nintendo. that's
Definitely, if it was
be
like
annoying.
from this point forward,
would it?
it'll be you can play it on everything going forward.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what they need
Yeah.
to get
That's
to.
the expectation I think a lot of people have.
I think
And-
Xbox is helping to fuel that too.
And
Yeah.
the industry trend has been that way.
Yeah.
But
Get on Microsoft's level.
Trying to predict what Nintendo's going to do is not a very wise
impossible.
thing.
Yeah, it's impossible.
It's a monkey's paw. They'll
And
give
I
you what
mean-
you want, but not how. I mean, like you're totally right that they'd make you buy Breath of the Wild again for Switch 2, but I bet you they'd also like only have it unvaulted for like 3 months. You have to buy it in that window, or you'll
Oh, make
never
sure you
get it.
absolutely bought it in that window.
Yeah.
I mean, look at all the complaints of all the Wii U ports to Switch that they were not only full price, in some cases more expensive
than the original.
than what they were being sold
Yeah.
for on Wii,
Right.
like Wii U Shop, like Donkey
Yeah.
Kong Country Tropical
It's
Freeze.
a whole
was
weird
$10
situation
more
they
on
got me on it
Switch
because it's like
Funky Kong tax.
yeah, the Funky Kong tax.
when you talk about Xenoblade and you talk about Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze and like all of these games, like there's no way they made any profit on the Wii U versions of those games, and they were basically probably only on sale so that they could make whatever they could make, and so. Yeah, like them putting out those Switch versions is almost like as if they had released them simultaneously on 2 platforms to me. To where it's like, yeah, this now we can actually like sell this game because we have a platform people want.
Yeah, I made that argument too, but still see like the other side is that you're
Yeah.
looking at in some cases 4+ year old games being released again for sometimes the most expensive version of it. And yeah, it might run a little bit better, but it's not exactly like a
Last of Us.
like the PS4, PS5 upgrades, like 60 frame guarantee, or a resolution up, like an increase in resolution, like clearly defined what you're getting there. Maybe increased texture, work, or better texture work, stuff like that. That's never really the case with this.
They added like Funky Kong or something, right?
Yeah, Funky Kong text.
Yeah.
That's what Brad was saying. Yeah. I mean, some of these do add a few new things, but in some cases you don't get all the content, or it's a trade-off. Like Captain Toad. There's content in the Wii U version that's not in the Switch version. I think vice versa. So like, there's sometimes it makes this there's no more definitive edition for these. You need to own both if you want to have all the content. So it gets a little weird like that. Where I mean, Square Enix does this a lot too. Like the Pixel remasters do not have the bonus content from the other releases, but some other companies, like I would say, like maybe is, if I'm remembering, like Sony maybe does a bet. Like, does Last of Us Remastered have like everything that was in?
Nope.
Oh, does it? Never mind.
Does not have multiplayer.
Does not have
multiplayer.
The remake.
Yeah,
but
the remake does not have multiplayer. The
remaster did.
had everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how easy? It's still easy to play that version though, right?
The remaster?
Yeah.
Oh, so easy.
Yeah.
Easiest.
And then what did the remaster go for? More money than the original version?
I want to say it was
I don't think it was more when it came out.
cheaper, dude.
Yeah, I think it was like 50.
Yeah, I think it was.
Huh.
They do, and
Maybe.
Nintendo
I
does
could be
do
wrong.
that
That's
sometimes.
correction incoming.
Like they do their HD versions.
It was 50.
Yeah.
But
Pretty sure.
Skyward Sword HD was
$60
full price, right?
yeah.
Whereas I think was Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD like
The
lower. They were lower, I
remaster-
think.
I think they were $50.
They made the remaster cheaper because then the remake was 70, so you split the
dear
difference
Lord.
there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess the remaster got a $10 price drop at a point.
At least they kept it available.
Yeah, that's the one thing I hate is when they like
Yeah.
pull something away.
Well, for a while, I think
Yeah.
Donkey Country Tropical Freeze was unavailable when the Switch version came out. They pulled it from the
I
shop.
think I remember that.
Dude,
Yeah.
cool.
Whether it was
Turkey.
intentional or some kind of thing, it
Shot
just was
Wii U
like
in the
gone.
head,
Yeah,
dude.
wow.
Yeah.
Took it out back.
But yeah, it's interesting to be talking about, even if it's on the side a little bit, talking about what's coming up next.
Yeah, it's like first official comments about new hardware. Like they've never I don't think they've said anything about like the next hardware. The words even
They're
next
thinking
hardware.
about it.
They always say like we're always working on next hardware, but this is pretty much a general statement as well. But coming from Miyamoto, like you just like headlines. I know it's people are probably gonna make more out of it than what it really is, but yeah, Miyamoto, new hardware, tension,
High stakes.
Yeah.
So, like, if the next thing, though, from Nintendo isn't just a Switch 2, will you guys be disappointed? Like, have we gotten...
Define Switch 2 like a hybrid console, or do you mean
Like a
backwards
hybrid-
compatible?
Well, no, like a hybrid console, like handheld and home console, like... to me, it's like, I know that Nintendo historically has always kind of done something different every time.
Yeah.
But here it just feels like they nailed it so well. I found myself wondering if they would change it up again.
Well, the other trick to that though is otherwise they would have to release two things, right?
Right.
They would have to release a handheld thing and they
Right.
would have to release a home thing, and
Which
so
they've done, or they did for many years.
yeah, but they've combined those teams
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
Now
I mean, I would
and
stick
their
with what they're doing
ecosystem.
if
yeah, I
was
feel
them.
like they can't go back.
I don't
Unless
see...
it's just a phone, straight up. Like,
not-
it's a
they're not gonna
game
do a
that's a phone.
or maybe it would be similar to the Series X and S, to where it's like, it's like, okay,
I
there's a
could see
handheld
that.
version.
I hope so.
only.
It's only a hand, or maybe you could still hook it up to a TV, but it's less powerful.
Yeah.
And then there's like the home version that
I want-
Oh,
you know,
I
yeah.
could see
More-
that
yeah,
possibly
more
being an
horsepower.
option.
I really hope there's a home version with no handheld version to give me the option,
Yeah.
It's all about options. And it's like, I never use the handheld version. I don't. I commute to where I need to go, and when I play video games, I'm going to play them at my house.
I
don't need the handheld at all. So if you're going to have handheld only versions, it'd be nice if they had home only versions as well.
Yeah, I use my handheld, but like I would be very interested in like a more powerful version.
Yes.
I don't think they've done like anything like that for launches, but they've done like 2 different SKUs for launches. Wii U had 2 SKUs. They had
Right.
like but it was storage capacity for that.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything
Such
like
a weird
power thing. So it's not like they've never done multiple SKUs at launch, but it does seem like something they probably wouldn't want to do because it'd be too
different GameCube
confusing.
colors.
I mean, that's I could see them doing like the hybrid or the normal Switch first, and then a few years later, this would be like their kind of like in between release because they didn't do.
Oh, sure.
Remember all the
Like
rumors
the
about Switch
OLED
Pro?
type version.
We kept hearing about Switch Pro. We never got that.
Yeah.
Maybe this is what they wanted to do.
But I think in
Yeah.
a way, because like we see like the Switch Lite and everything, it feels to me like they just see a greater potential in selling a handheld only one because then
Yeah.
it's like chances are more people are going to buy more than one at home
Totally.
Yep.
of a handheld.
Yep.
But
Totally.
at the same time, that's how people are using the Series S. Like they'll have an Xbox Series X in one room, and then they'll have a
That's
spare
another.
room or kids or whatever that they'll give the Series S to because it's cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was the best benefit of Switch Lite was getting more units per household, which was one of their Nintendo's stated objectives with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, those mid-cycle refreshes, like I mean, Nintendo's been doing that. They have done light variations. They've done slightly more. DSi was technically a slightly more powerful. New
Right.
3DS.
Yeah.
It was a more powerful
Game
version.
Boy Color.
Yeah,
Top-loading NES.
Yeah, so
like,
they've done the mid-cycle thing before. So
SP.
if they wanted to do that, like two variations,
Yeah,
I think
SP is
that's how they
great.
would do it. They would not do it at launch. I think it actually would be kind of one version would I think maybe trump the other, and Nintendo would take it the wrong way.
Sure.
Yeah, so do one first, let it sell, and then bring in the home more powerful version down the line because that's more of an enthusiast
For the
project.
gamers, yeah.
I mean, I just think like I assume they'll still do a hybrid, but I think like the ever-present dream of docking it makes it more powerful would be the way to go. Like docking it is
Yeah.
4K, handheld is 2K
Yeah.
or whatever.
I don't know exactly how reasonable that
I don't know.
that
Yeah.
structure
yeah,
really
I
is.
don't.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
That's the dream, though. I like your
Yeah.
dream.
It seems like a natural evolution
It
of the
feels like-
model, but
Give it a supercharge. Dock it in.
It feels like a Genesis solution.
yeah, you
plug
put it
more
into the
things into it.
32X, the Switch 32X, and the
Expansion
CD
pack.
drive. Yeah,
Yeah, I just don't think Nintendo's ever going to try and go for like parity again. I know that's like
No.
a lot
No.
of
They
people want
won't.
that.
Oh, yeah, they don't want to. They
No,
don't want to
they
sell a
will.
$500 device.
Yeah.
No.
No, yeah, they won't. do that.
Well,
I prefer a Nintendo that's not aiming at parity. Like the Wii U era when they were like trying to play catch up or like Me Too.
Dude, they
you
were
know?
so far behind.
They were so
still.
far behind still, and it's just like no,
Yeah,
do your own thing.
they
That's
haven't
where you
been
shine
like
for
that
sure.
since
Yeah, I don't think
GameCube.
that was about playing catch
No,
up.
but-
yeah.
Maybe the most then, or
Only
GameCube.
GameCube.
to
Maybe.
be
Yeah,
fair,
GameCube.
to be fair, I don't think they've ever done a 1-to-1 like at parity catch up because even when you want to argue stuff like GameCube, proprietary weird disc, no DVD
Yeah,
playback.
yeah.
Yes,
like,
they always do.
They always do
something.
something
I mean-
to hamstring themselves. Wii U, little late to the party with HD, and then a gamepad gimmick that people thought was the Wii U and wanted to know why they couldn't just buy that. So a whole slew of issues. It's like the last time they were really at parity was like Super Nintendo and I would say argue N64 no because the CD cartridge debate had already begun. Super Nintendo was the last time they were playing on even grounds.
Resident
with
Evil
everyone.
Remake
Yeah.
is still one of the best looking video games
Oh, yeah,
of all time.
But yes, but like
Yeah.
I remember schoolyard
Two
me
discs.
was
Two
making
discs.
this argument. I was like, Nintendo keeps hamstringing themselves. Everyone else has gone discs. They're cartridges. Why are they doing these mini
There's
discs?
always some
you know?
weird. They always like fed
Yeah,
it some
but I
weird
think that-
controversy whether it was like merited or not.
The GameCube
Yeah.
disc size is not really that big of a factor.
No.
No, it's not the
It's-
size. It's the fact it couldn't play back DVDs, and then
Sure.
the thing looked like a toy.
Sure.
Like people would just look
Little
at it
lunchbox.
and
I
be
use,
like,
I use
little
that handle
handle.
It had
like
a
crazy
handle.
though.
Yeah.
It's for bringing it to your friend's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I did that
Okay.
so much in the GameCube era.
And then they kind of like botched it by doing instead of like doubling down on like software that was comparable to other platforms, they still let their thing of we want experiences you can't get anywhere else. The Pac-Man game, the stuff
the
like that,
the Game Boy
link cable and the Game
stuff,
Boy
yeah.
connectivity and all those weird things that they focused on all those E3s before they were like, wait, maybe we should try going back this way, but then it was like too late. And it's like, and then it led to like, well, maybe we got to do something else. And that led to Wii. So sometimes it pays off very well with Wii. Switch, I think, is more about like just like the hybrid than any kind of like ingenuity in terms of like a hook to the gameplay. But since like N64 onward, there's been some aspect that they've just done differently that's been uniquely Nintendo, and it's like a love-hate thing. Sometimes you love them for them,
I would
sometimes
say
you hate
with,
them for
with
it.
the GameCube, the controller was probably more of a detriment for
that
third
too.
parties, just because of
yeah.
only one top shoulder
right.
button, the Z
Yeah.
button.
So obvious, yeah. Like that's easy to forget, but
Right.
that something simple as that, not having a standardized controller that
But-
was easy to port games for.
Still, I played Splinter Cell. I played Burnout.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Game Gear was a great
It actually
system.
Game Gear
had
was
quite a
sick
bit of
as hell.
third-party support.
I wish it did.
It just-
I
yeah.
wish it sold better.
The PS2 was
and
just
everything.
such a
PS2
sales
was just
juggernaut, and it
killing
had a year
everyone.
head start, and it had the DVD head start. And
Yeah.
just not,
Yeah, that's the thing.
GTA.
Resident Evil Remake though.
Mm-hmm.
All day.
Yeah.
Watching
day.
DVDs though.
Another thing is,
So good.
like Hubert, to be honest, like having Resident Evil 4 was like exclusive was a big deal.
Yeah,
But
you're
like
right.
PlayStation got all the juggernauts.
It got ported like a year later
Exactly.
I
too.
hate I
Yeah.
say Resident Evil's a huge series,
Separate
but
ways.
like Grand Theft Auto blows it out of the water. Like when you get GTA exclusive to
sales-wise,
PlayStation
yeah.
2,
Oh, of
GTA
course.
3, it's like in San Andreas
over.
and Vice City before it, you can't compete with that. And then it being the system preferred for like Madden, and then the
stop
start
that.
of Call of Duty,
Having some sort of online thing too.
yeah,
Yep.
online infrastructure,
Yeah.
it was
So calm.
SOCOM, Final Fantasy
You
11,
got Final Fantasy migrated
Hey,
to
we
it.
had PSO.
Yeah.
PSO. I think that was like the only game, pretty much.
Yeah, even though they were at parity, a lot of the best third-party exclusives that sold the best were ending up on PlayStation
PS2, yep.
and not coming to Nintendo. GameCube,
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when Resident Evil 4 finally hit on PS2, it like made the
Yeah.
GameCube version obsolete, basically.
Yeah. Extra content.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was still not as good.
Oh, it didn't look as good.
Yeah.
No.
No, of course, but
Yeah. Yeah, that's a
Extra
weird one. Where
content.
That
it's-
is a weird
when you
one.
talk about lack of definitive editions, like that
Yeah,
was
and
that was
Wii-
in
well,
that
now
era.
You got the
Yeah.
Wii defenders out there.
Now
they
we got
love
the
motion.
now we got the definitive. Well, the Wii edition's probably like the real definitive because it's the only one that has the motion controls
Of
in
4?
it, right?
Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
RE4.
Yeah, Wii
Yeah.
is the best
Because
one.
no version like the Switch version of RE4 doesn't have motion controls, as far as I understand. Doesn't have it doesn't have that.
What'd you say?
I don't think
Yeah, I
RE4
don't think
Switch
so.
has the. You can't use the Joy
Oh,
Cons
I
as
don't think
motion
so,
aiming.
no.
Yeah,
No,
the
no,
Wii
no,
version's
no.
it. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Get that Wii version.
Oh, yeah, you can waggle for the knife, right? Wasn't that also in there?
Yeah,
Probably.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played that version in
Cheese
ages.
meta right there. It was the best. You could feel the cheese.
yeah.
That pointer, obviously you could have interference, but that pointer is still
The game
unmatched
was
in terms
not meant
of.
to be played with that much
No,
accuracy.
yeah. It was
That was part of the
ridiculous.
fun was the converting tank controls with new third person perspective.
Oh yeah, the VR one is really good.
Oh yeah, VR.
Yeah, RE4
might be
is
RE4
good, though.
VR is good.
Well, you have to play in VR.
It's in VR though. That's its
But would you
it's
argue
its
that's, like, the
upside
best
and
way
its
to play it?
downside.
No, I think it's a really cool way. I think I would recommend the original game first,
Okay.
then play that later.
We've got more news to come, but if you've been enjoying the show so far, please take a second to like and subscribe and ring the bell on YouTube. It helps us and it helps you stay connected. And now, a word from our sponsors.
With the bustling holiday season just around the corner, it's the perfect time to plan ahead with Factor, a ready-to-eat meal delivery. They shop, prep, cook, and deliver to your door so you can enjoy chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals during the holidays, minus the hassle. These are really good. Sophia and I got a few, and we were eating them. They're shockingly good microwavable delivery meals. I really like them. Plus, with 34 meals per week, including Gourmet Plus, Keto, Calorie Smart, Vegan Plus Veggie, and 36 plus weekly add-ons, you'll have plenty of nutritious, flavorful options to choose from. My holidays are already jam-packed. Luckily, Factor's fresh, never frozen meals make it easy to fuel up fast when I'm on the go, and I save time when meals are delivered ready to heat and eat in just 2 minutes. Yeah, you get like a box of several of them, and you can just heat them up. You don't have to prep anything or cook anything, which is much more my speed when it comes to cooking, you know? Also, ooh, I just learned about this right now. Apparently need a special occasion meal. Gourmet Plus is the perfect solution if you're looking for fast upscale options done easy. I gotta look into that. I am interested in that. But yeah, not only does Factor offer fast, simple solutions when I'm too busy to cook, which is literally always, they also help me stay on top of my goals with offerings like Protein Plus and Keto. I can stay on track. This is definitely going to come in handy during the holiday season. Head to go.factor75.com/allies60 and use code allies60, as in 5 more than 55, not 16, 60, to get 60% off your first box. That's code allies60 at go.factor75.com/allies60 to get 60% off your first box. go.factor75.com/allies60 to get 60% off your first box. They're good. Do it. Selling things online is harder than you think, and I would not ever recommend trying to do it yourself. You should always try to do it with someone who can handle all the logistics, because they're annoying and complicated and weird and hard. Shopify makes it simple to sell to anyone from anywhere. Whether your thing is vintage teas or recipes for ghee, start selling with Shopify and join the platform simplifying commerce for millions of your favorite businesses worldwide. With Shopify, you'll create an online store in your vibe, discover new customers, and grow the following that keeps them coming back. Shopify has all the sales channels sorted so your business keeps growing. From an in-person POS system to an all-in-one e-commerce platform, even across social media platforms like TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. And thanks to a 24/7 support and free libraries full of educational content, Shopify's got you every step of the way. It's how every minute new sellers around the world make their first sale with Shopify, and you will too. You need help selling stuff online. It's complicated. How do you get seen? How do you get your product out there? How do you ship it? Shopify will help you out. When you're ready to launch your thing into the spotlight, do it with Shopify, the commerce platform backing millions of businesses down the street and around the globe. Go try Shopify for free and start selling anywhere. Sign up for a free trial at shopify.com/allies, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/allies to start selling online today. Shopify.com/allies. shopify.com/allies. This show, the Easy Allies podcast, is sponsored by BetterHelp. I love therapy. I think you would also love therapy. It's no secret that I love therapy. It's been hugely important to me. And yeah, I don't know where I would be without it. I'd probably be a lot sadder and a lot different looking. But yeah, try it. Unfortunately, life doesn't come with a user manual. So when it's not working for you, it's normal to feel stuck. But yeah, I think that therapists with their training basically help you write your own user manual. I think everyone should have therapy, and BetterHelp is a great way to get it. If you don't have access to it locally, you can get it online. You can shop around. If you don't like who they give you, just switch to a new person on BetterHelp. It's real easy, and there's nothing wrong with that. You're not going to get it right on your first try every time. So many people I know just think therapy's not for them because the first therapist they've ever tried wasn't a good fit. That's not the way it works. Just get a different one. As the world's largest therapy service, BetterHelp has matched 3 million people with professionally licensed and vetted therapists available 100% online. Plus, it's affordable. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to match with a therapist. If things aren't clicking, you can easily switch to a new therapist anytime. It couldn't be simpler. No waiting rooms, no traffic, no endless searching for the right therapist. Learn more and save 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/allies. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/allies. BetterHelp.com/allies. Check it out.
And if you are a patron of Easy Allies, thank you. All right. We have my least favorite kind of news story, but I wanted to try to dive into it a little bit, but it's almost
complicated.
too dense to dive into.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So basically,
Drama.
composer Mick
awesome.
Gordon versus
Hell yeah.
ID's Marty O'Donnell. No, Marty Stratton.
Yeah, the director.
I've got the wrong Marty. Marty Stratton. But yeah, so you might remember from around the time that the game came out and the soundtrack came out.
Doom or Doom Eternal?
Doom Eternal.
Okay.
Doom Eternal.
Okay.
That there's controversy over the soundtrack, in which only a few of the tracks had been mixed by Mick Gordon. And then soon after, Marty Stratton posted a statement on Reddit essentially saying, that Gordon hadn't held up his end of the deal.
Yeah, I remember missing the deadlines, right?
Yeah.
It was a big thing.
And that the studio was forced to make up for it. This week, Mick Gordon
Rebuttal.
posted like a 14,000 word defense
Wow.
Yeah, like
of everything that happened during that development.
Receipts.
encyclopedia of receipts.
Okay,
Like,
let's
probably
hear
like his
some-
tax documents.
Yeah,
maybe.
let's hear some receipts. Let's hear some of these.
Yeah, basically claiming that the studio lied about what really happened, and they had offered to pay him six figures to
Hush
stop
money.
talking about
Hush
it.
money.
Straight up hush money.
Dude, the stuff he lists, he's like not allowed to talk about the soundtrack at all, not allowed to say anything bad about Bethesda or ZeniMax games or anything like that.
Is that he would sign that and get the hush money?
That's
Right.
like part of the terms of the agreement, yes.
Okay. Wait, did he get the hush money
didn't
or
do
he
it.
No.
refused?
He
it?
refused.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hence, he's talking about it. I
Yes.
guess.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
That wouldn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
He
Just getting all my ducks in a row.
he claimed that during development he had to write for 2 levels worth of music per month before the levels even existed. And as a result, had to constantly work on rewrites because he'd write the music, and then when the levels were finished, they're like, "Well, this doesn't fit, so we've got to go back in and work with it more."
Yeah.
A lot of the unfinished music that he was told had been rejected, just like ideas and sketches and stuff, they actually ended up putting it into the game
Brutal.
and in the soundtrack.
Wow.
And according to him, this meant that they used 4 hours and 46 minutes of his music, but only paid him for 2 hours and 22 minutes.
Damn.
That's a receipt.
That's
That
a
is a
huge receipt.
strong receipt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Down to the minutes.
Yeah.
He also claims that he was under no contract to produce a soundtrack when they announced it as a pre-order bonus at E3.
He didn't know. Yeah.
Which then
no
puts
idea.
all these legal obligations on when this thing can be delivered and everything, right? So he felt like he was pressured into working on this thing, even though they had never talked about it, they had never scoped it out, they had never put a plan together. So he agreed to do 12 tracks, but then, like last minute when they had to deliver, like they're saying, it's like, no, you have to get it done, and in the time frame, we can't delay it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. They decided to add 47 poorly edited pieces with embarrassing technical issues that were just grabbing like just bits and pieces of the stuff that was, because in the game, like it plays dynamically, this little thing, that little thing.
Yeah, totally.
So they just sort of cram things together without as much, intent.
Structure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which is why, like, when you listen to a soundtrack, it's not usually the same exact thing that you hear in the game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why you don't always like want to like just rip a thing.
The end
Yeah.
credits of Cyberpunk Edge Runners love that song, but it's different in the show versus like the official version of the song.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tetris Effect, a lot of that kind of thing too. Yeah. He detailed backs and forths with Stratton in which he tried to address the unreasonable schedule. He detailed issues with payment. He had to wait a long time to get paid even. And after the issues with the soundtrack, he thought that they were going to work together to like hammer out a joint statement, a joint solution. But instead, Stratton just made this Reddit post that just threw him under the bus.
Wow.
Which he claims is full of lies and misinformation, damaging his career
Yep.
and reputation.
Yep. Big time.
It's just so shocking. It shocks me to my core because it is widely celebrated, not just critically, but commercially, as one of the best video game soundtracks.
Yeah.
It is such a
That's something that people are saying too now, is that like they got the Game Awards for his soundtrack, but he doesn't have them. Like they have them at their
Oh my
office.
they have
God.
the awards.
Yeah. So like give him back his awards.
Wow.
Dude. Yeah.
That's scummy, dude.
Yeah. It's really shocking. I have no like insights into it, but I would think after Doom 2016 that the relationship between him
Well, it's not
and,
just that. It goes back further than that.
and
He
even
worked on
further.
Wolfenstein
and
stuff.
Even
Like,
Wolfenstein,
yeah.
you would think that relationship would be special and that they would treat him with respect, and
Yeah.
it doesn't seem like respect was given.
Yeah, it seems like it's a lot about it was just like poor project management.
Yeah.
Right.
That the not having their own house in order just spilled over into mixed dealings with them, and he sounds like he fell a little bit through the cracks there, and they tried to save face, and you're absolutely right, Huber. I mean, someone who had their studio act together would have been like, dude, like take care of him. What he wants. He's instrumental to this. Like this is like every Doom game. You should be thinking Mick Gordon soundtrack. What's it gonna be? Can't wait to hear this thing. Looking forward to it. And now it's like, just terrible situation all around. And like having that much documentation, like these things happen. Like it seems like recently the type of stuff's been happening where accusations are thrown around, but bringing receipts like this, like very important. And like, hey, doing the right thing, like saying no to like the hush money so you can talk about this freely. And because if he took that, like he'd be in so much trouble talking about this. And the part about like, I think until we heard this story, people just assumed it was the truth, that like something went wrong and it was probably on his end where he didn't fulfill his obligations.
Well, and it sounds like he's been trying to work something out with them, and it's just not going anywhere.
It's not working, and it sounds like he might not be having some trouble getting work other places because saying it's damaging his reputation. So he probably got pushed to the brink here. It's like, sorry, I liked you guys. I tried, even with all this shit you threw at me, I tried to make this work, but we're at that breaking point now, and I have to like, speak up about this. And I wouldn't be surprised if this leads to,
legal action.
Some legal action here.
This is going to go on, I feel like, for a year or two.
Yeah, you're going to be hearing about this. For a while.
That's something that's so crazy about hush money too, because it's like the landscape can change so much in a few years. Like how painful would it be if you take the hush money, and then like the landscape changes and everyone's telling tales about things, and you can't.
Yeah, because you're under an NDA.
Yeah.
It is such a mark in his favor by not accepting the hush money, It I want to believe his side of the story, obviously because of the receipts, but like not taking that money. It's like, okay, he is fighting for what he believes is right here.
That helps so much. Like, how many like law shows you watch where it's like a great witness or something? And they're like, but you accepted a bribe or something. You took the hush money, and they're like, it calls into question your character. So it's
you're
like,
guilty.
Yeah, you don't have that kind of like right dogging you as well. This is gonna become like a Netflix show. This like drama. Watch. Yeah.
Well, here's an interesting thing though too.
More wrinkles. Here we go.
Similarly, Sarah Schachner, who has been a composer on multiple Call of Duty games, she had a similar situation. She parted ways with Call of Duty over increasingly challenging work dynamics with the audio director. We don't have as much detail about what all that means, but it's like she's just, can't deal with it. What's going on there?
Is this going to be like the next area of like development, like in arts?
Soundtracks, video game
soundtracks, because it's been VFX artists for and Marvel, like all the shit with that.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna get like exposed like the audio side where there's been like some very bad practices going on and some composers being treated like shit. And
sadly, I think you'll find that in any situation where money people are interfacing with artists, the artists are being taken advantage of most of the time.
There you go.
But
the real answer.
Specifically, composers. I'm wondering, if you think that like. This now, like in the modern age, we're hiring composers,
hired guns. That's the vibe.
Outside contractors, rather than having them in house and as part of your development team.
Exactly.
Like Darren Korb on Hades and all that stuff, Supergiant.
Like Olivier or whatever, he bounces around.
He's still part of that kind of like freelancer kind of thing. He's a free agent to go to whatever. he wants.
That's what I mean.
What I'm saying is. That structure is having them detached rather than the old way of like, Koji Kondo at Nintendo or somebody at Capcom or whatever, or Nobuo Uematsu at Square Enix. Does that detach the game management from really understanding what it takes to make music with the modern demands?
It goes, and I think it's going to keep like getting that way, even going beyond just like composers, just the sound and audio team having to work with a lot of outside agencies to bring to life, their soundscapes and their soundtracks for their video games. That this is something you'd expect that they'd be, interacting in a good way and trying to pay like the fair value. But I think Isla is kind of right that at some point it feels like there's just going to be some kind of exploitation when it's like possible, whether it's through ignorance or whether it's from actually like we know this is a little bit better than you, so we're exploiting your ignorance on this, and it's not our ignorance. Yeah.
Shout out to Naughty Dog and Sony Santa Monica for treating their composers right. You look at Gustavo in Last of Us, just such a legendary part of that franchise, and now Bear in God of War and Ragnarok, you know. These outside composers, though, but it's almost they're treated, at least from the outside, it feels like they're part of the team. Like they got that balance right.
Yeah.
I feel like you're right. More of these composers are starting to work with more studios too. Like I think Bear has worked with a bunch of other ones too, and stories will get around.
Oh, yeah, like he's all over film.
Yeah,
He's a film
they will
composer
know.
primarily.
Like they'll know what's up, and like so I think it's also that's a good thing because less and less they'd be able to be exploited by like stuff like this. This just feels like maybe I don't know Mick's full background, what else they have worked on beyond.
I'm looking at it
Doom.
now, actually.
But I feel like they've done like other rock stuff or something.
Yeah.
But
and Sarah Schachner, I think, just did Prey.
so I wonder if it's just the companies think that, again, they just think like, oh, maybe you don't know enough about this, and like they do, and they're like, well, screw you. Like, why are you treating me like trash like this? You know, I don't know. Like music
Well,
is
that's
such an
what's crazy.
essential part.
Like,
yeah.
His sound defines modern Doom.
Yeah, it's
Like,
essential.
he should be treated
essential
at that same level as, as
It's like
Bear,
a
you know?
layup
Yeah.
for them. Like
Yeah.
you just secure this down.
It's a
like,
selling
lock
point.
it down.
It just I'm shocked.
I mean, even
I'm
though he
shocked.
doesn't work for them anymore, like because of their relationship, like as you said already, like Square Enix can get Uematsu back for any like Final Fantasy game if they wanted to. It's like just treat your team well, even if like they go separate ways, and because all these people end up working with each other, and it's such an essential part that I don't know, like you feel like this sadly. The like cynical side is like usually it's like lower tier people are the ones who are usually exploited in this, but when it's like the high level people like this, it's like the kind of like the gall to think you can get away with this. Is
Well,
like
that's
insane.
what I was.
Yeah,
That's exactly what I was thinking, Damiani. It's like we know this guy's name.
Yeah.
Like we've seen him play guitar on a stage before. Like the fact that they took advantage of someone recognizable, like because you're totally right. Like usually when you get to the level where it's like, oh, Bear McCreary, like I've seen his name, or like Ludwig Göransson or whatever, like, oh, I've seen that name, like usually that's when you stop getting exploited, at least in the same ways, and you can be a hired gun that's afforded a little more respect. Like freelancing is how the high level players do it, but it's also how you're taken advantage of as a low level player. So it's so wild that this took place. Like just the amount of awards that he won from Doom alone. It's kind of just like, huh? Why are you mistreating this dude?
Is there some like resentment there? Like, yo, your music is like as popular as the game, but that'd be weird because the music
weird.
and the game are one.
Listen,
like, it is one thing.
Listen to what Blow was saying, man. Like he was having to compose music for levels that weren't even like done yet. Like nothing
just mismanagement.
Like,
You nailed
think of
it,
movies.
Damiani.
How do you compose for a movie that's not even done yet? Music composition is done late. Audio composition is and
after you
sound work
already
is
have
usually
picture cut,
done
basically,
late.
yeah.
You're
So
watching
this
it,
is like textbook 101. What the hell's going on with your like studio? Like that's a studio problem. That's not.
Which is
And
also
when it's-
bizarre to me because, like, part of id's reputation is to put out something that feels super technically polished.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They seem
Yeah.
like at least like on
getting
the
their games
engine
out.
end and tech end, like they've got historically they have their shit together.
Yeah.
Like the most optimized games for PC that like you feel good about playing them.
Rage
and
was
feeling good about being a
little,
PC gamer.
rough there.
Okay, it's
No
not
Carmack
everything's a
either.
surefire. When
No more Carmack either.
But at least, but in the past.
Yeah.
But this could be signaling maybe this is part of the thing. Maybe they've had departures and like that's not the case anymore. So maybe they need to take a closer look and see why that went wrong. Because if you're higher up there in that company, it's like this should not have happened.
Yeah.
Right.
This is like
they're owned
egg
by-
on your face.
Well, now
in a
they got
bad
Phil
way.
Spencer watching
Yeah,
their
they're
backs.
owned by
Yeah.
ZeniMax and Phil Spencer. And
Phil
they're
Spencer,
working.
make it right.
Yeah, Phil Spencer, do it. Like
Phil Spencer, dude, like put them both in a room, have them shake it out, like be the mediator.
He ain't got time for that.
Be the Phil Spencer.
He's trying to buy Activision right now.
I feel like Phil Spencer can make people get along. Like that.
I feel like Phil Spencer just like if he darkens your door, like, and all you'd have to say is like, I didn't want to have to. Come
Is
down
Phil
here.
Spencer? Is Phil Spencer this week putting that soundtrack on in his car, driving to work, and like, oh yeah,
Yeah, he's
I hear the difference when you get from track 10 to
lighting
track
up-
15.
He's lighting up one. And he's like, God damn it! Why is something going wrong every damn week with these companies?
I'm gonna rip and tear these assholes.
Yeah, rip and tear.
Did you have something you wanted to throw in there?
Oh, back about the. I was just gonna say it's not unheard of for the music to be done early in the process, but like usually that's with intention. Like they're
Some
doing
Hans
that for
Zimmer
a
shit.
reason, or yeah, they're like using it to inspire the game or in something. But like that's planned out. Like you're doing that on purpose, not because you're just being told to do things. Yeah, that was it.
Okay. Also this week, sort of, kind of in similar vein, the battle over Disco Elysium
Oh my god.
continues. Accusations being tossed back and forth between the former creative leads and owners of the company.
I'll
Zaum.
just get along.
The devs claim they were defrauded and pushed out of their own company. The company claims they were let go for misconduct.
Toxic management, I think they said.
Yeah, toxic management or whatever is what they are accusing them of. Whereas the creators say they're looking into a lawsuit for criminal fraud charges.
Criminal.
Good
fraud.
lord.
Yo.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
company says they paid them for 2 years without them doing any work.
The hell?
What?
How do
So I
you?
don't know.
How do, like? After you're not working and getting paid for a year, how does that happen
Okay.
for another year?
So have you seen the movie Office Space with Milton?
Yeah, I think you would find this happens a lot at certain levels of
But
companies.
if this was even true, it's kind of the company's fault. Like, why are you still paying them? They're doing
Yeah.
what? Like, cool, your fault.
Yeah, I don't
Great
know. I don't know if you had any more insight
I
on
mean,
craziness.
no,
but-
you got the short and the short of it. I think like, I mean, I've definitely like worked with people who just like are really good at acting busy, and then they actually never do anything. Like I could see that getting paid for. This is more to Huber's thing. Like that's how you get paid without doing anything. Is you just act like you're really busy and can't. You say no to everything.
Every
You're
time
like,
someone
no,
talks to you,
I couldn't.
oh yeah, just give me a minute here. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm up to my nose here right now. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. It just takes in a you can hide in a big corporation.
That's
Is my
right.
point, but not usually in something like this.
Jeez.
This is just a mess. I have no idea.
Yeah, I
It's
don't.
upsetting because Doom Eternal and Disco Elysium are fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, I don't know. Sometimes dysfunction leads to the best art.
Yeah.
It's a truism of the world, whether it's
It
good
is.
or not.
That is right, Blood.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely like Disco Elysium. Like Disco Elysium is one of my favorite recent games. I think it's one of the best written video games I've ever played.
For sure.
But hearing all of this stuff, I'm not necessarily surprised that the people who would have written that are difficult. Not taking any side, I think probably everybody's wrong because that's kind of generally what I think. But like, yeah, I don't know.
Dysfunction Elysium.
Yeah.
That's the sequel, yeah. Or the documentary.
Yeah, the
there you go.
documentary.
Good
There you go.
ones.
Yeah, I mean, write what you know, right? Like every character in that was a real handful.
It Takes Two has opened a merch store with some nice shirts and other accessories, but the Psychopaths are also selling a Cutie the Elephant plushie
thinking?
Oh my
with
God.
a detachable ear and leg.
What a moment.
Oh my! Wow.
That was a moment. I loved and like didn't like that moment at the same time.
Yeah, that kept
Heavy.
it from getting the award for me.
Yeah, Blood did not like it.
Oh, Blood legitimately upset.
I don't think
Yeah.
I got to that. What's the deal?
Disturbed.
Don't
Very
spoil
disturbing
it.
part.
Yeah,
It's a
Don't-
moment.
okay.
It's one of the
Just
most
disturbing?
important
Oh.
It's
parts.
very disturbing. Most
very
disturbing
dark.
thing of that game.
It's very dark.
Halo Infinite released its big fall update introducing online campaign co-op finally. Story mission replay finally.
Yeah.
And the Forge beta, as well as new maps and some other things.
Yep.
Let's go get on the couch and play some
Replay
co-op.
Took this
Oh.
long.
Yep.
Okay.
EA is
I've
dropping.
never seen. Sorry, I've just never seen a game come out so solid, so hot, and then just drop like a meteor. Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
Just like what happened? You
Came
had
out, you're like, oh, it's good foundation.
yeah, the foundation was so good, and then just
Yeah.
yeah,
Nothing.
Yeah.
just wild.
EA is dropping an in-development Project Cars sequel and seems to be scuttling the franchise altogether.
Great word, scuttling.
Dirt also seems to be on the chopping block, although that's a little bit more expected because Codemasters got the WRC license.
Oh, okay.
So it would kind of be two of the same thing.
Yeah.
But the former CEO of Slightly Mad Studios lashed out against EA.
Everyone's pissed.
As he previously had bad blood with them after the Need for Speed Shift games. He said that in the past they had essentially tried to destroy the company by signing them on for Shift 3 and then canceling the game right when they're about to go to work on it. So Project Cars was essentially like their way of keeping the company going. It was like one of the earliest crowdfunded projects. And, Cars had a lot of like buzz in the lead up to when it came out, and Cars 2 was really good, and then Cars 3 got weird. And so they're just like, no more Project Cars. You guys will work on other EA stuff now. But it's kind of weird because it's like, they clearly never wanted to work with EA again, but then Codemasters bought them.
Yep.
And then EA bought Codemasters.
And they're like, oh no. Now they're probably going to put them on a Battlefield game.
There you go.
More Need for Speed.
Kojima stays independent.
Yep.
I don't love it when things have the actual title that has project in it.
Yeah, I always hated that they
Like the
never
Mindy
came up with a
Project
name
or
for
the
that.
whatever. I guess the Alan Parsons, what was that? But like, I don't know. It's weird.
I still
Name your thing.
I'd love your opinion. I still think Project Beast is a better name.
Oh, Project Beast. But here's the thing. Project Beast is a sick-ass name of a leaked thing that we're like, what is Project Beast, right?
It's a great leak name.
It's the perfect leaked
good code name, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. But if Bloodborne was called Project Beast, that would be stupid as hell.
Yeah.
All right.
It's an amazing thing to shout from the rooftops in a musical you're making for your defunct company. But I don't know if I would have gotten a Project Beast tattoo.
There's a 60 frames patch for Project Beast.
Project Beast. Also, you don't even become a beast in whatever.
Gears of War is getting a live-action Netflix film, followed by an animated series, and they're like, hey, maybe more.
Batista. Did you see today?
Did he?
Wait,
He
what?
put himself in some armor, and he's like, yo,
he's been championing that role for a long time.
Well,
Batista or
Cliffy B,
Riot?
Cliff Lazinski. He doesn't like to be called Cliffy B anymore. Had said that's
Whoopsie.
who you would want.
yeah.
Perfect.
As Marcus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Marcus. Yep.
And then people did photoshops, so it's funny to say like, oh, now he put on his own
Who's
armor.
gonna be Dom?
They wanted John Cena for somebody. They wanted like John Cena.
As what's the goggles guy? You can have John Cena. as
Oh,
that guy.
that's probably
Bird?
John Cena.
Bird?
Coltrane. They wanted Terry Crews.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I forget
dang.
who Dom was. I forget. Sorry, Dom.
Just have Vin Diesel do it and make it
No.
actual Dominic Toretto.
Nice. Also, Huber Stranger Things VR coming winter 2023 allows you to
Vecna.
play as Vecna.
We're streaming that day one, Damiani. Day one.
Yeah, you're gonna
Chet
be
says
Damian.
Baird is
streaming
the
that.
goggles guy.
Vecna.
Baird. Yeah.
Baird, yeah.
Baird.
Pre-orders for the remake of Prince of Persia: Sands of Time were canceled since the game no longer has a release date, as Ubisoft Montreal has been taking over development studios.
Yeah.
Since
that
earlier
game
this year.
was probably a disaster.
Did you say Dudios?
Development duties earlier this year.
Dudios.
Studios.
And multiple people have offered to acquire Kojima Productions, but Kojima is turning them down every time.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
He doesn't
Quote,
need it.
every day I am approached by offers to buy our studio. Some of those offers are ridiculously high prices,
Couple $100 million probably, or
but it's
more.
not that I want money.
Dude, more than that.
I
More
want
than
to make what I want to make.
Dude
That's why I
knows.
created this studio.
Dude knows at this point.
No hush money
Been
for
through the ringer,
Kojima.
yeah, no hush-
Creators intent.
Yes, right.
Wants to make
Sony?
podcasts.
Sony? No. Yeah, I will be heard. My podcast. You will not cancel this podcast.
That's the main reason
Yeah.
it's not selling, because
Yeah,
they'll
yeah.
shut it down. That's so good.
It's time for love and respect.
Love and respect.
From Mighty Omega. Hey allies, at the time of writing this, it's the day before Sonic Frontiers comes out.
Yeah.
And I've been devouring reviews for it. Generally, the opinion seems to be the game is somewhere around a 7.5 for most people, and I couldn't be more content with that. What's the most excited or relieved you've been for a game to be just pretty good?
Pretty good. Huh.
I love a lot of 7s, but I really got to think about something like the framing of the question of like, oh, thank God it's 7.
I guess Stranger of Paradise. I was like, oh, thank God.
Sure.
Yeah.
Great one. Great one.
Oh man, I was like, oh, thank God.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Huber, so many times over the years, I remember us saying, like, we'll be lucky if this is an 8. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We will be blessed by this.
We will
8.
be so lucky.
Yes. Stranger of Paradise is perfect.
Yeah.
The newest girl in chat says 7.5 for Sonic game might as well be a 9 or a 9.5.
Yeah,
For Sonic, yeah,
Totally
that's
right,
like
yeah,
the highest
yeah.
review in a long time, besides Mania, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean Sonic. I mean that's one. I was really hoping
We were
for a 7.
praying for 7s.
Yeah, big time.
Stuff that's like really niche, like throwback stuff sometimes feels right swimming in 7s. You know, like a Tormented Souls or something where it's like
yeah.
a flawed masterpiece, you know, where it's like you can't really give it a 9 or an 8.5, but you're like, yeah, this is sick and I'd love it.
Yeah. I think the difference there would be like, oh, the game's already out and it has a 7, whereas like
This
the
Game
hype,
coming,
the
yeah.
hype leading into it, hoping for a 7.
Right. Yeah, that's tough. That's
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tricky. I'm kind
Chat
of
says
drawing a
Star
blank, too.
Ocean.
Star Ocean's a good one. Star Ocean's a good one.
That's funny. Not a 7 for Damiani.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
From Sponge J1. Greetings, allies. It's been a while. Recently, I was thinking about the first time I became truly obsessed with the game.
Oh, real quick, sorry.
Yeah.
Chat nailed it. A sweary game.
Oh, sure.
Great.
Oh, there you go.
Deadly Prem.
Oh God, yeah.
that's not a
Deadly
7.
Prep 2. Deadly Prep 2. If it was a 7, we would have been like, hell yeah.
Dang, now you think of a bunch like Suda games. Every Suda
Yeah.
51
Oh,
game, just
sure.
hope is like at least that, and not like trash.
Yep.
So it could go pretty bad sometimes.
Yeah.
Is it? Am I gonna get judged if I say any Platinum Games
I
game?
was just thinking that. I was
Anything
just
not
thinking-
called Bayonetta.
depends.
Anything not
It
called
depends.
Bayonetta. Platinum. Yeah.
Oh, dude, you just pray that game even comes out from them.
Yeah. You hope it releases.
Yeah.
All right, restarting. Sponge J1. Recently, I was thinking about the first time I became truly obsessed with a game. I used to scoff at those who had memorized so much information about items, placements, and stats for various games. I never understood why one would commit that much information to memory. And then I played The Binding of Isaac, my now most played game on Steam at 405 hours.
Wow.
Dang.
And it all clicked for me. So my question for you is, what was the first game you got obsessed with to the point you either memorized stats or item placements or scenarios or had pages of notes scribbled with information to help you later?
PlayStation 1, Resident Evil. Had that shit on lock. Lock down that Spencer Mansion in my brain. Those items, the routes. Oh yeah.
For me, also PlayStation 1, Symphony of the Night.
Great
I
one.
could 200% that thing from memory.
Yeah. Great pick.
I guess of like I remember when Zelda 1 when I was very young, drawing maps and stuff like that on my own, like memorizing stuff.
Yeah, I don't look up a lot of that stuff. So like, I wouldn't say like later I was able to memorize it, but like from the start.
Yeah, you can't
Like,
from the
I'm
start.
I'm trying to think
with
like
Zelda
like,
especially.
well, I would play it and then like keep replaying it to like memorize everything without the use of like guides or anything.
Yeah.
Probably either. I mean, Star Fox 64 is too easy. Like that's like a on rails thing. Metal Gear Solid 2.
Great
Oh.
pick.
When it launched, I just
Great
kept
pick.
playing it and beating it over and
man.
over and over.
Oh,
and like by the
yeah.
time
Yeah.
like my 12th playthrough in like 2 weeks, I was like, dude, then, like automatic.
Yeah,
There's
muscle memory.
Ration over here, like this,
Yeah.
this over here, like oh, the thing where you use like the audio thing to find with a dude. Don't need to do it. Walk over, like just he's right there. Bam, just
Yep.
like do that. Like,
Dude, the MGS2 demo, I had so 100% memorized.
Yeah.
To the point where when I got to the real game, I was like, what? That's not there. What is this?
yeah, being able to tell like Olga like when she starts like oh, she did that. Okay, she could be like just aim there. Boom, ready. Next shot.
Dude, the
boom.
lighting when you
Yeah.
shoot that thing against Olga still looks like phenomenal.
Where's that remake remaster? With like ray tracing, baby. That scene with ray tracing. Come on.
After Twin Snakes, you know, it just
Twin Snakes was
makes
a
me
fun
nervous.
experiment. That was something different. that was given to like a different director and everything.
Totally. It'd have to
But
be
this-
in-house.
Yeah,
But it can't be anymore because Kojima's gone. It can never be in-house.
Okay, well, okay.
I mean, they'd have to like rent him. They rent Kojima. You know? Like, hey, can you make us a Metal Gear game?
Can we rent Kojima
I think he's above our pay grade.
for a podcast? He likes podcasts.
Isla, you want to highlight a couple that you saw?
Yeah, I mean, chat was just listing some good ones like Tekken 3, Dota 2, Pokemon, Final Fantasy 10, Double Dragon 3, Kingdom Hearts 2, got it memorized, Stardew Valley, San Andreas, GoldenEye 64 levels.
Oh,
Shenmue.
winner, chicken
That's a
dinner.
good
Yeah.
one, actually.
Perfect.
That's a
Metroid.
good one.
Yeah.
Memorizing the campaign and the multiplayer
Yes.
separately. That is so good.
Remember I was telling you earlier that like multiplayer maps, like FPS games. Like I don't generally like them. I told you N64 FPS games, Perfect Dark and GoldenEye. GoldenEye at one point, like every map knew everything. Like
The spawn points.
Yeah, everything. Like
Run
we were talking
into
about
the spawn points,
Yeah. I would go
dude.
camp spawn points. Like, I know you weren't there. I know you're over here. You can't hide from me. I know where you are.
Fun.
I've got a weird take on this. Nintendo Power.
Oh.
Because I actually had the subscription before I even was able to get my own NES.
Wow.
And so like those maps and everything that they did, like I would like look through them like basically running my finger across them, like as if I were playing the game. And it's like, okay, there's a thing there, and there's that thing there, and there's this, and so like when it came to like, you know, other kids asking me on the playground at school, like I could tell them where things were, secrets were in games that I had not actually played.
Wow.
Blood was training to be like a game, like a pro counselor or whatever at Nintendo back in the day on the hotline.
Yep.
He was ready. He was ready to go.
That is so cute, Blood.
That rules.
That was like me with the box for Ghostbusters on DVD because I had that before we had a DVD player, so I would just read it.
Right.
I would just read it all the time.
Yeah, I had like the Ninja Turtles soundtrack CD before I had a CD player.
Yeah. I had a Wiimote before I had a
CD
Wii.
player, so he couldn't even play the music. Damn it.
Because my brother had then like went to like some rent to own place or whatever, and so like he had rented this like big CD sound system, but then you know
Didn't
had to
keep
give
it
it
up,
back
yeah.
eventually. You know, it was weird times.
Do you remember trying to like balance a Discman so it wouldn't skip while you were like
Yes,
walking
I
to
do.
play practice or on the bus or whatever?
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
CD skips. Wow, I haven't thought of that.
Damn.
in a long time.
Anti-skip. Didn't they used to
Yeah.
have like
Yeah,
they would have
anti-skip
anti-skip.
crap?
Did the anti-skip.
Where it was like look ahead. It was like look ahead basically. Yeah. Man, I remember walking down the hill to play practice listening to Battle of Los Angeles by Rage Against the Machine, and like I got a new CD Walkman so I could just like leave it vertical like in my pocket.
Sick.
Cuz back then, you know, I was probably wearing Jinkos or some shit. It was sick.
Those are sick.
Jinkos were not sick. Stop trying to bring them back.
They don't need to come back. They were sick.
They're coming back, Damiani. There's nothing we can do
They're
about
not
it.
sick anymore, though.
Yeah. Now they make me sick.
Yeah.
Let's play a game.
Oh.
Please be a Jinko.
Those big pants.
Cargo pants.
Cargo pants is what I think, but whatever.
Yeah, I didn't actually like Jinkos. Those were like oversized.
Oversized.
I just like cargo pants.
Wide.
From RF Switch,
Parachute pants.
continuing Splatoon items, real or fake, the Octo catalog. It's time for another round of figuring out what real-life objects are in Splatoon. I've got 10 more pieces of garbage here. All you got to do is say if it's used in Splatoon or if I'm trolling you. First off, a spackle knife.
Spackle.
That's a real item.
Use it in.
What do you use it
These
in?
are all real items, but are they in Splatoon or not?
Yeah.
Oh,
People
not
paint-
in
that they
Splatoon.
use.
People
It's
paint
like-
with those.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not in Splatoon.
I think it's in Splatoon.
Yeah, I'd say so then.
I'd say real.
That's fake.
Ah, Hubie.
Huber.
It would be nice to see more painting supplies in the game like the Octo Brush or the Slosher, but no, this is not among them.
Okay.
Sprinklers.
Not in it.
Sprinklers? Isn't
Not in
there-
Splatoon.
Is it Splatoon 3? No.
I'll say yes.
No.
It's real.
What?
Woo!
Yeah, it's actually a pretty common sub-weapon. You can drop a sprinkler and it'll keep re-spraying an area.
Oh.
Can you destroy the sprinkler
Yes.
if you're on the other team? Good, good.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And next is a sledgehammer.
Sledgehammer? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. People would send me pictures if it were in the game.
I feel like it'd be called something cute, like sledgehammer.
Right, but if we're talking about the actual object
Oh,
that the thing is
oh,
based
right,
on. Like
right,
one
right.
of the ones before was like the
Let's say
ballpoint
yes.
pen. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fake.
Ah.
But it's a
wrong.
close one. If she was trying to fake you out there, the Ultra Stamp looks a lot more like a comedic squeaky hammer than it does a sledgehammer.
Sledgehammer.
Toy robot.
Dude, I love that song.
Toy
Same.
robot.
Toy robot.
Toy robot, that's fake.
Fake.
Yeah, fake.
Real?
Real.
What?
The auto bombs. They're like little mouser-looking guys that'll you throw them and then they run towards
I've never seen
a
that.
target
Never seen
that's in range.
Like in toys.
I sometimes have nightmares about them because of the Octo Expansion's secret boss. Champagne.
No way, dude. Alcohol in a Nintendo game?
Yes. Let's say yeah. I'll go yes.
Same.
I
Let's do
actually
it.
wouldn't be surprised. This is kind of a
Champagne.
weird game.
Do it.
Splatoon is dark.
I'll
Do
say
it.
no.
Do it.
Real.
Yeah.
It's a weapon called the Squeezer. Careful of that first shot. It's a doozy.
That's pretty
Cute.
cool.
That was funny.
That is good.
Parachute.
No.
How would that squirt
No.
paint?
Is this just for Splatoon 3, you said? Or is it all of them?
I think it's the whole franchise.
Oh, I thought it was just 3. I have no idea.
No.
No? Parachute?
Fake.
Like, who the hell? How could you know?
I don't know. Fake.
Fake. You don't need a parachute when you can super jump, so long as you don't land in water.
Nice.
All right, they're not all weapons. They're just items. Like I always forget.
Yeah. The Nintendo Zapper.
That's real.
That is real.
It's in Smash or doesn't? Yes, real.
Yes. There are two. The red one made in 89 and the gray one made in 1985. A plunger.
That feels
Yes.
like it's definitely in there.
Yes.
Plunger?
Don't you like grapple or something with it?
Fake.
Fake? I don't know.
Fake.
Huh. I've never really played these, so I don't.
There is a suction cup on the suction bombs, though.
Ah.
A condiment bottle. Like a ketchup
Real.
bottle or...
Real.
Yeah, sure.
Probably,
some paint
it's
in
probably
that,
like a grenade
some
or
goo,
something.
ink.
Yeah.
That's
real?
fake.
Ah.
And they say, I think we've all had enough of the ketchup mayo debate in the Splatoon community. That was one of the Splatfests.
All right.
And a jet engine.
A jet engine?
Sure.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Sounds so crazy. Why not?
Yeah, sure.
Real. It's
Nice.
a type of slosher called the X-Splosher, which fires a large spiraling ball of ink.
Whoa.
It's time for bets. This week's bet. Next week, Goat Simulator 3 is coming out.
Hyped.
There was no Goat Simulator 2, if you're not aware of that.
Hyped.
Multiplayer.
So
Yeah,
hyped.
multiplayer's going to be fun. I'm going to go to the top categories on Twitch, sorted by viewers. At what rank will Goat Simulator 3 be right before the podcast next week? Huber.
10.
10.
10.
Yeah.
Brad.
15.
15.
I think it might be even lower.
Yeah, same.
Damiani.
Dang. 11.
Shit!
Ooh. Isla.
Sixth.
6.
I don't know. I believe.
And then I also went 10.
Woohoo.
So we got the high?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
And
Brad's
we got
that
the
high.
low.
Sweet.
Good.
Last week's bet, Sonic Frontiers, came out this week. We were looking at some relatively long videos on that official Twitter account. There were some quick ones too. We asked how long the most recent Sonic Frontiers video would be when I checked Sonic's Twitter account today. Huber bet that it would be 60 seconds. Brad bet that it would be 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Damiani bet 1 minute and 30 seconds. Isla bet 1 minute and 43 seconds.
Blood $1'd me.
And I bet 22 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're pissed.
Yeah, I was pissed. I didn't sleep that night.
$1, you were 60 seconds. It's like more than 30 seconds away from. If it was 59, I could understand. The answer, though, Sonic Frontiers put a Speed Strats video up this morning at 9 a.m. 6 minutes and 6 seconds long. So Brad had the high there.
Yeah.
He wins this week.
Sonic.
Now we've got another bet that's in the wings. Harvestella bet. It hinges on 10 English reviews. There are still not 10 English reviews. As of today, this afternoon, there were only 6 on OpenCritic.
Dang.
Because Square Enix did not send that game out early. So there it is.
What's the word?
We'll have a push on that.
Dominic said it was extremely.
I think I saw 5 out there. I don't know what the actual average is though.
I don't know what the average is. I don't know.
Yeah, but we'll get that result here in a second. But that bet will be pushed until we can get 10 reviews.
Oh, Harvestella average went up 73 right now.
Oh, 73 right now.
But only 44% of critics recommend it. This is on OpenCritic, so
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. So we'll see. When we get 10, we'll finish that bet. But right now, our scores are Massive Chubs 21, Splish, Loderous Sea Lions 21.
Oh man, Blood.
It's tied.
Blood, there are 9 reviews now.
But 2 of those are Spanish.
Oh.
So you got 1 more since I last checked then.
Oh, these are all English.
No, the quotes are English, but they will translate the quote.
I see. Never mind.
Let me tell you about patreon.com/easyallies. The future of Easy Allies depends on you. We rely on your support to keep it happening. You can do that through a Twitch sub here if you're watching live. You can do that through a one-time donation in the little link below the video there. But the best way to support us is via Patreon through a monthly pledge. Ongoing support to keep us going that we can rely on. It not only gives us the most benefit out of all those options, but also nets you some fun rewards in return. For $1, you get a special version of this podcast that doesn't have any ads on it, and it has 2 extra bonus love and respect questions. At $5, you get early access to the VOD of this podcast. You get to submit to Love and Respect and the Adventures of Don Romantica. You get a whole bunch of other perks with the other podcasts, and you also get to join in on our official Discord and chat with other people, see pictures of bruises, share food photos, all kinds of fun things. We also just recently announced a new benefit for our $20 behind-the-scenes tier. Since we're doing these behind-the-scenes now on Twitch, I'm playing around with a thing called Capture Commentary, where we just take a clip from one of our reviews or something we recorded for Huber Syndrome or whatever it might be, throw it in there, talk over it, give you some behind-the-scenes insights or some other things that are on our mind about that game and that specific clip. And at the tip top of our patron tiers are our shout-out tiers. And this month's shout-outs go to Jabawabs, Elf Banis, Greg, The Dark Knight Kettering, and Anacroft. Shout out.
Shout out.
Brad,
Yes.
you get to promote any Easy Allies video you'd like to promote. You get the final word on anything you disagreed with, want to reiterate, or just popped in your head right now. And you get to sign off with your trademark sign off.
Palmer Luckey, dude, you just gotta fucking relax, man. You gotta get a grip on reality. It's upsetting. Go outside, man. Go talk to some people in person and live an actual life. And since this is for Sonic, check out my Sonic Frontiers review that just went up. I had a good time with it. Couldn't show everything I wanted to, but maybe look for that behind-the-scenes clip.
That capture commentary, yeah.
Yeah, Blood picked out a nice one. So look forward to that in the future. And always got to do the sign-off. Everyone's got to do it. Get ready to do it. Count of 3. 3. Or 1, 2, 3.
Just some on-topic shooting the shit.
I love it.